Welcome to a world made rich and peaceful by the munificence and mercy of the 8 pillars, where life beneath the blossoms of the great trees is truly wonderful. Welcome, that is, to the world of Tira. Here you can find anything you can dream of, provided that you can pay a reasonable price for it. And how could you not, with gainful employment so easily obtained with one of the pillars or any of the other corps? Indeed, it would be no exaggeration to say that this world built by the corpse is perfect.
A lie. Everything they've built, everything they say is a lie. The world is a lake on a calm day, surface smooth as glass, but look beneath, and it's full of danger. With every writhing ripple, the day that the calm is shattered forever comes closer. Now, we must join together, throw off their rule, or risk losing everything we have left. Please, join us as we seek to save the world of Tyr after the blossoming.
Panoptic Entertainment is a wholly owned subsidiary of Mirror Age Design Incorporated. Panoptic Entertainment, Mirror Age Design Incorporated, or any other corp do not promise that you can find anything you dream of or that you will be able to find employment. In the event of breach of contract, Panoptic Entertainment reserves the right to terminate employment and or employee as required by company policy or shareholder vote.
Hello, everyone. I think we are sounding screen live. God willing.
Holy shit.
And welcome to the world of Tyr After the Blossoming for Tyr the Search, a one-shot set in the world of Tyr in the timeline that we have most seen with the Marauders in Moontree Isle. Yeah, so welcome to this. Hope everyone's having a good time. Sorry we got started a little late, had some difficulties, but hopefully we are on track, and this was always supposed to be a somewhat shorter one-shot, so hopefully we will not be keeping anybody too insanely late. Before we get started, no Joel in chat, not unions, not yet. Before we get started, I'm going to take us through a few announcements for Helpful Goat. Then we're going to do brief introductions, and then we will do sort of descriptions of characters as we get into the action. One note on the wonderful trailer that you just saw, thank you so much to Sam for audio production, video, etc. And thank you so much to Matt, who was the voice of the Paragon operative speaking. As always, this is Helpful Goat. We are doing Tyr. If you would like to join us, we are a small independent game design and game content creation community. If you'd like to join that community, !Discord for the hub of the community. We did Friendsgiving game day today. We do movie nights, game days. Rachel reads to us to attempt to cure us of our illiteracy. So far, no dice. We have a great time. It's a wonderful community. It's a wonderful, loving, supportive community, which I am always overjoyed to be a part of. So I do recommend you check that out, as I noticed something on the screen has... Oop, you We stream regularly here on Twitch. If you want to check us out, twitch.tv/helpfulgoat. And if you want to stay up to date on it, you can always give us a follow, totally free. Get notified when we go live. If you have the resources and you would enjoy it, you could also subscribe to us. You can do that for free with Twitch Prime if you have an Amazon Prime membership. Any of that support, immensely appreciated. Helps us out a ton, helps us do more of this, helps us do more overlays, more resources for everything. So please, if you have the chance, love that. You can also support us by !Coffee, KO-FI in the chat. Gets you a link to our coffee page. It's a direct donation to us if you would like some merch with your support of Helpful Goat. !Merch in the chat gets you a link to check out our merch store, where we will be having some new items coming in soon. Near and dear to our hearts at Helpful Goat are causes, supporting people who deserve that support, helping others, etc. So right now we are highlighting the Trevor Project, benefiting LGBTQ youth, particularly in America. We did this as part of Trans Awareness Week, and they are a regular donation group that we have up. And as always, we encourage you, if you read about these causes, if you read about these communities and you are interested, and you have the resources, the time, the energy, the money, we encourage you to look for an organization, donation group in your local area, because donations there are much harder for them to obtain and also are enormously impactful. So thank you for that. Thank you for checking that out in advance. And now I think, I suppose scheduling. I believe tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern, we have Monster of the Week. If Sam yells at me in chat, I will know that I was wrong about that, and you will listen to Sam in chat about what time that is. And then coming up next week, we will have more programming, which honestly, my calendar isn't open. Check us out. Also follow us on Twitter at HelpfulGoat. With that, I think I will turn it over to introductions. As I mentioned, my name is Galway. I'm yelling in chat to say that I am correct. Good. My name's Galway. My pronouns are he, him, his, and I will be the DM for this evening, and I'm the creator of the World of Tyr. And with that, I will pass it to Joel.
Hi, everybody. I'm Joel, he, him, his. I'll be playing Jogu Jondar, also he, him, his. Definitely not a robot. And I'm going to pass it down to Chelsea.
I am not your power bottom. I'm sorry.
Oh.
I could be. I don't know. It's not a 10-hour day. Leave me alone. My name is Chelsea, and I'm she, her, and I will be playing Onyx, who is she, her, meow. And I will pass it to Lena. No, that way, Lena. I don't know.
I don't know.
Lena.
Yes, I think the second one was right.
Hi, I'm Lena. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I'm playing Shade Marley, whose pronouns are also she, her, hers. And that direction to M.
I'm Emma, she, hers, and I'm playing Ava Alco, also she, hers. And I'm going up to Monty.
Sure, I'll be your power top. I'm
I've
Monty.
always wanted to be a power bottom.
Well, today's your lucky day. I'm Monty. I use my pronouns are they, them. And I'm gonna be Newt, who uses she, her pronoun.
All right, awesome. So with that, like I said, we'll get descriptions of what these characters look like as we get started with the story. Grabbed an old version of the file. That's fun. This campaign is set very close to Moontree Isle and the adventures in Moontree City. However, it is not required that you have seen any of that or know the story in there to follow along. As with anything in the World of Tyr, it's designed to be able to stand on its own. But there will be some references along the way, which may be more fun for you if you've caught that. And if you hadn't, as always, you can go check out our complete archives over on YouTube. Just look for the World of Tyr playlist, which is now well over 200 hours of content. So with that, I am going to... Oh, cool. Good job. Good job, Sorry. Apparently Roll20 deleted the audio tracks I'd uploaded to it.
Why are you?
You cut out and you just said, "Why are you?"
Yeah, that's what I said. Why are you?
Oh.
We can fill space. Ask me questions about Tyr, and I'll answer them like I'm Galway.
I've already started an audio track going, and
Fine.
Well,
so,
too late. So Lena, yeah. Sorry.
all of you have been brought together in the wake of a massive earthquake that rocked the city of Moontree City. in AB 2320. Widespread destruction, lots of property damage, etc. But this kind of destruction has also created opportunities, as the attention of the corps, particularly Drakon Corp, with its headquarters in Moontree City, distracted by repairing from the wreckage and possibly also something else. Each of you has received an invitation from calling him a noted cryptid researcher would be a stretch because it implies research. A cryptid blogger, whose online handle and the name that he generally goes by, Zigzag. Each of you is some level of association with him previously, perhaps, at least know of him in passing. And he has summoned you here with essentially a relatively lucrative job proposal. It seems that he has come into some money and some information, perhaps just as valuable. And with that, I will say you all, well, not all of you actually, 4 of you, everybody but Onyx, find yourselves in an elevator, pressing the button for the 23rd floor. And if everybody, except for Onyx, would like to go around and describe themselves, starting with, let's go the opposite way, Monty.
Oh, cool. Newt is a aqua boy? Is that what they're called in the punk thing? I think. So she's like a fish person. She's like kind of halfway between like a triton and a sea snake, like sea eel type of thing. She's got like aqua skin, long flowing sea hair, short shorts, and an aquarium jacket, like Nero's terrarium jacket, but with fish and a little coral reef inside it. And she's got little fangs and a big fish tail. And she's also got a little streaming drone just kind of like hovering around her head looking at everything. That is always recording and or streaming. So you're on cam.
Em.
So Ava is a half-elf. She's 5'10". She's usually taller than that because she wears very high-heeled sort of black leather boots, black leather trousers, jacket, pretty pale. She's got integrated, sort of obviously integrated silver tech on her face and on her forearm. And she works on sort of Moontree City's premier home shopping channel, selling body tech modifications to the unsuspecting citizens of Moontree City at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Lena.
Shade Marley looks like a half-elf if you killed a half-elf and left them sitting outside for a couple of days. She's very tall, almost 6 feet tall, and she's middle-aged and quite muscular. Not like muscular like, oh, I'm a weightlifter, but like, you know, muscular like I swim a lot, except she probably doesn't because that would probably make her skin just kind of slough off. She's really sickly, grayish pale, and she has really bloodshot, sunken red eyes, and her hair is dyed a really bright, unnatural red. It kind of looks like she was trying to match her eyes. It's pulled up in a really high ponytail. She has a ton of facial piercings. That's all you can see exposed, but she probably has piercings elsewhere, too. And I'm not making that weird. I'm making it sound weird. I don't mean... Anyway. She has a really large tattoo that starts under her shirt and then goes up her neck of a purple panther, and she's wearing all leather and looks pretty intense, is armed and looks kind of, you know, dead, and also smells weird. Just generally smells weird.
So I'm just going to pause. I've loved each of these descriptions, but looks kind of dead? Like, Oh my. And Joel.
How am I gonna top looks kinda dead? Jogu
Looks kind
is
of alive.
Oh yeah, Jogu's kind of alive, maybe. You're not certain. Looks alive. Is a 2.5-foot tall silver kobold. Kobolds aren't normally silver, but whatever. With a purple undercut swished to the side. Fashion is very important here in Moontree City, so he's wearing an asymmetrical black jacket with horizontal green LED lines that are subtly fading from side to side, with matching black and green headphones around his neck. He's got squared glasses on his snout, a small toolkit on his right hip. Even though it's most of your first times meeting Joku, there's something you can't quite place about him. He's standing way too confidently for his size. Almost too confident, and his eyes, whenever he makes eye contact, seem to stare into your soul. And he's definitely alive.
So the four of you are kind of sizing each other up in the elevator. Some of you are at least passingly familiar with each other. All of you, given the fact that you all are wearing, equipment that one might expect more for spelunking or adventuring, or street raging more than a social visit, might also expect that you are all being drawn here for the same reason. And as the doors begin to close, they are stopped apparently at nothing, and then you will see a sort of gloved hand render into visibility and slowly push the doors open, and Onyx will enter the elevator. Chelsea, I'd like to describe Onyx.
So, Onyx is a pure black Tressum with a completely unsuspecting, very streamlined, bright blue eyes, which is a little strange for a Tressum, but it is Moontree City, so you never know what you're going to find. And the wings are going to be black, but they have the appearance slightly of the raven wing when you look at them in certain lighting, and they have that slightly blue undertone. And there's going to be a slight glow to the points around where you would see the structure of the wings, and you can see a little bit of a faint underglow of a bluish purple color to them. And Onyx is just going to walk into the elevator like she owns the place and just start casually licking herself.
For anyone watching at home, a Tressum is essentially a house cat with wings. So yeah, also very perhaps startlingly for the four of you in this elevator, Tressum walks in, pivots to face the doors, and then just begins licking a paw as the doors then close, and the elevator begins to go up. For some of you, the apartment is probably a bit below your standards. It's not terrible, but not amazing. For others, it's pretty much in line. The ride to the 23rd floor is just a matter of a few moments. And you make your way down the halls of the apartment building. As you all sort of step out of the elevator, look at the number placards, and then turn as one in a group. Any remaining ambivalence as to whether you are all coming for the same job or not disappears. And as an open question, have any of you been here before to meet, in this case, your current employer? Does anyone come to meet Zigzag?
Is that an option?
Oh, yeah.
Shit, yeah.
Okay.
I fucking love Zigzag. That's so cool. Yeah.
Yeah, Jogu has known Zigzag for a little bit at least. Play video games together often, so they have met in person a few times. Not a whole lot.
So a couple of you don't really need to look at the number placards on the doors. You sort of turn, the others will sort of pause, look, then follow. making your way down, you find a door in a unassuming apartment, and press the buzzer, pausing as the door camera clicks on for a moment, which would allow you all know the person inside to see an image to people waiting. You can see you can even see a little bit of the scanning field, and you can see it like tilt up to look at Shade, sort of back down just slightly to get to Newt and Ava, and then down, 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 to get to Jogu and Onyx. And after just a moment, you see the sense close off. There's a slight buzz, and the door slides to the side. And you all can go in. Which I'm assuming you do.
Yeah.
As you walk in, you can see a cramped apartment. The far wall is essentially entirely covered by computer equipment, monitors, hard drives, network connections, a couple of different processors. Off to your sort of left, in the common space, there is a single couch and one chair, both made of cheap refab synth leather that has seen better days. Many better days. This is honestly a pretty terrible day. Past that, there's a small food fab, and half concealed by a curtain, there's a small bed, half sort of covered on the bed, just strewn with like jumpsuits, labeled with something metallurgy. And then the only figure in the room is a small and somewhat nervous-looking halfling man that two of you certainly know as Zigzag. He is currently head down in papers. There's dark bags under his eyes, and he doesn't appear to have paid much attention to grooming in the last several days.
I'm so excited. I'm so sorry. I'm such a huge fan of Zigzag from the show. Sorry. I'm good.
You're totally fine. He doesn't, despite the fact that he has to have buzzed you in, he doesn't necessarily seem fully cogent of the fact that the five of you are now standing in his space. There's not really clear room definitions in this thing.
Hi. Hey, Ziggy.
Russell.
Hey, small man. Small man.
I know you hate when I call you Ziggy. Come on. Respond.
Is this Zigzag, or is this like his fucking like secretary or something? Like, I have shit to do. I have people to kidnap, things to see.
Sorry, people to what?
Nothing.
Yeah, but what was that? Sorry.
What the fuck are we doing here?
Newt just sits down on the couch.
To get the attention, in the spirit of my own Tressum, Onyx is going to go sit on the computer keyboard and see what happens.
Right. You all are, yes, can I get you... Hi. Yeah, and he's just sort of, he seems not flustered, he just seems very not focused. Yes, I'm so glad you were able to respond to my requests. How do we begin? We are all interested in the strange creatures that roam our world. I think this is true. Otherwise, I cannot imagine that you would be here.
Interest is definitely one word for it.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
We'll call that reassuring. I have recently, as you may have seen, and any of you who are on Zigzag's blog semi-regularly do know that he has recently had a massive series of posts on a creature called the Beholder Fish. I've acquired a great deal of information on a rare creature indeed, the Beholder Fish. My source that discovered it disappeared shortly afterwards. I thought I should be honest about that fact. I can't be sure if the Beholder Fish had anything to do with that, but his messages to me after the discovery seemed... what's the technical term? Increasingly unhinged? He described it as having mental abilities when he found it, the ability to take a measure of control over the person it was targeting. And I'm afraid, based on his messages to me afterwards, it may not have been the passing effect that we thought it was. I don't really want to put any of you in danger. I'm gonna sort of pause, look at Shade, pause again. But I also know that danger is likely, so I figured that the least I could do would be to offer you the information that I have and see if you were interested.
I mean, yeah, I'm super interested in cryptids and creatures. Interested.
I mean, totally. Our stream is gonna love it. Oh! And the little streaming drone's like buzzing around, gets right up in everyone's faces, and
Wait.
Hey, are you streaming right now?
not technically. I mean, I am recording, but we're not live.
What would happen to the recording if I smashed your camera?
Oh, nothing. It's recorded somewhere else. And plus, I can just bring it back.
Oh, that's so convenient for you.
It is super convenient. Mm-hmm.
That's great. Can you kind of keep me off cam? I just don't know.
We can blow your face, no problem. Don't worry.
Okay, good. And my neck. Blow my neck.
Write a paper or something to appear in. It says you'll be appearing in a stream or something.
Oh,
Yeah.
no. I mean, everybody already signs that. Like, everyone's on camera all the time. Everybody knows that in Inventory CD, so, like, sorry.
Right.
Okay, but like this is like
Getting a
different.
birth certificate about getting recorded all the time. Right.
Yeah.
Ava,
Questions,
Ava,
Zigzag? Yes.
sorry.
Yeah.
Ava reaches up her hand and swats the bot like a fly and goes, "If we weren't interested, we wouldn't be here, would we? It's not the kind of place one would come and hang out simply for fun."
No, this
Like,
is
you
way
sh-
too nice to hang out in.
Yeah, we come here all the time, right, Jojo?
She just raises an eyebrow and swats
Wait,
the bot
Tommy?
again.
Jojo.
Okay. That's fine.
I think it said Joju, but my accent, it's hard to say.
I heard JoJo. I
you
was like,
type of
okay.
words.
That's new.
Zigzag, while you all have been sort of having this conversation, slapping recorder bots, etc., has just been sort of like munching on a packet of like crisps, by which I mean legitimately is just sort of chewing on the package. You sort of hear crunching, and it seems like he's just sort of like, it's like a small crisp bag, and he's just sort of like biting them and sort of like pulling some of them back into his mouth. Like, good. Yeah, no, why else would you be here? Yeah, so...
Why is the cat here? Also, is this your cat? Is this your Tressum? It's your
So
pet
cute. Can I
Tressum.
pet it?
I think that that's entirely her business.
Is she your secretary?
Why do you think I can afford a secretary?
You
How
write a
often do you
lot,
interact
Black
with a
Boat.
secretary?
I don't have a secretary. Do I look like I have a secretary?
No,
But
do
all
I?
You bitches look like you have secretaries out the ass.
I don't have a secretary, I have a PA, and I think I may be allergic to cats. So keep your secretary away from me.
And at this, Onyx is going to fly over to the table and in total cat fashion is just going to sprawl out over the table and going to look everyone in the eyes to kind of judge them all up.
Which
We're
is
not
so
sure.
cute.
Onyx isn't sure if they want to share their secret yet.
It's exactly.
But you can tell that
Makes
this cat
sense.
is hiding something.
So we know something is up. The earthquake that destroyed so many buildings.
Ollie,
the-
Oh, we
You're
can't
on
hear
mute.
you.
Talking, but we can't hear you speaking.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, that was weird. We all know that something is up. The earthquake that destroyed a huge portion of the city, the movement of so many resources by Drakon. Some of my friends interested in conspiracy theories and politics have been suggesting that some of the other pillars are preparing to move against Drakon. Normally I'd dismiss it out of hand, but with everything else going on, it could be possible. But information from that sort of group can be trusted very often. But that means that now is a rare opportunity. I have my sources data on the beholderfish, and using some contacts in the planning office, I found out that the earthquake has shifted the subterranean features of the city somewhat. They found tunnels where there shouldn't be any, or tunnels closed off with different stone. I think the earthquake just sort of stirred some things up, and that's why I think my source was able to find the beholderfish, even before we felt the earthquake. I've given you, and you'll all get a little notification in your heads-up displays, of the tunnel that I think is most likely to contain the creature. I want you to go down there, document what you find, hopefully find evidence of the beholderfish. If you manage to capture it and bring it back safely, that would be the ultimate prize. I had...
Just quick clarification. What does safely mean?
What do you mean? What does safely mean?
Like, how many of us do you want to return alive? And what state do you want the fish in?
The fish, preferably as unharmed as possible. I'm not sure if you identify as alive, but everyone who currently does, remaining that way.
Oh.
I mean, it's just a little fish, right? It can't be that dangerous, and we're definitely not going to hurt it.
Right.
Right.
You're gonna see Zigzag be like, it's just a little fish, we'll go, yeah. Anyway, I had that container crafted, and he's gonna point to what essentially looks like a if it was in a house, it'd be a sort of medium-sized aquarium, rectangular. It should be able to stop most mental projections from making it through. The size is based on the information that my source reported to me. I'll be trying to do what I can with some distraction efforts up here to ensure that Drakon or CitySec don't find that someone is in the tunnels that they aren't supposed to be. And if you're able to bring the fish back, we will all share in the benefits and or profits. Does this sound good?
Just remind me how much the profits are and how much that changes if not all of us come back alive.
If you hadn't answered asked that question the way you did, I might have had a different answer. I'm going to say that if not all of us come back alive, we will set aside that person's share of the proceeds for the... There's been talk of these strange new things called unions. I think it's some sort of charity.
Is that like a gang? Because I'm already in a gang.
I think it's a charity of some sort. We'll set aside the money for that.
Would charities exist in a post-dystopian world?
They do. They're often run by the corpse, though. They're essentially a sort of like a PR wing / recruitment hub for the corps.
I also have a question, Zigzag. Does she need to come? And I'm pointing at Shade.
I am an
Really
expert
scary.
in monster hunting and also especially in aberrations. And I'm going to start speaking in deep speech. For a stretch, I don't know what deep speech sounds like, so just imagine that in your brains.
Yeah.
Exactly what Monty just did. Yeah.
Well, I'm an expert in fish, so like, who's more valuable here?
Let's go with we're all valuable and can all contribute, and if there are any complications with CitySec or Dracon, I'm sure that Shade will be more than happy to take care of those.
I'm not fucking with the corpse.
Well then, let's hope there's not corpse down there, huh?
I hunt monsters. I stay away from the eyes of the corpse.
Seems like they would see you less if you went for the eyes.
Do you have a reason to believe that Draken or the other one that you said that I forgot the name of already would be there?
Not particularly. Everything's weird.
Okay. Well, I need the money, so I'm sure all you fuckers can stay alive.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in this for the money, and given as a small business owner, I have no interest in any funds going to unionize the workers. I have heard of such things and have absolutely no interest in any money going that way, so if any of you die, I shall be taking your share.
Well, this all bodes well. If you're all ready, I think you'd be best to depart immediately.
Is your cat secretary gonna give us directions?
Again, not my secretary.
Sorry, I meant Tressum PA.
In your head, you're gonna hear, he only wishes he was, or I was his secretary.
What the fuck is somebody like in my comm link or something?
What?
There's. Hey, stay out of my brain.
Great, she hears voices too. This is very comforting, Zigzag.
And during this, Onyx is just licking a paw, acting as if nothing is happening.
Okay, so we've got two people who are only here for the money, and one of them, his voice is in very much, I'm pretty sure, wants to kill us all. Zigzag, buddy, fuck you doing?
Look at me, I'm not tough. I don't know tough people.
Well, I know, I mean, we're not exactly tough either. I mean, Joe, but I mean,
we're not tough either. He's just gonna sort of gesture at Shade. Hence.
Yeah.
Ava wanders over to Shade and pulls out a very, very tiny sort of jeweler's screwdriver and starts to let me look at that port. Let me just have a look at the port.
Yeah, please.
And whispers in her ear, I've got something I can like add on to this. It might help with that smell. Port appears to be fine. I don't know what you're hearing. It's not a tech malfunction.
Oh, well, I think I smell good. But that's concerning.
Okay, so Van is downstairs.
Great. I'm driving.
At
Suits
this,
me.
Zigzag is sort of.
Anyone else have a license?
Onyx looks at Wings and nods.
I've seen Shade ride. She drives.
It's not comforting.
I mean, I
Hey,
pedals.
I've only died once from a vehicle accident, and that was in a vehicle fight, so that's a little different, right? I'm not gonna get in a fight in a big ass van. It's okay.
I mean, I have hover skates. I can just, go myself.
I promise that I'm not gonna crash the van
Yay.
on the way there.
Oh, no.
I've got public transportation. Whatever. Let's go.
Okay. Guess we're going in the van.
You all
All
fine.
right, Zigzag. If I die, I'm gonna haunt you.
Also, what are all y'all's names? I know Ava, because she's pretty good at what she does, but, who are the rest of you people?
I'm Newt.
Jogu.
Zigzag.
Zigzag, Jesus Christ, I fucking know your name. I think I maybe have seen the rest of you around the internet. Some cryptid
Probably.
people. Yeah, it's ringing a bit of a bell now.
I can't
And you're gonna
imagine
hear in
some
your
of
head
these
again.
people-
Oh,
No, you're good. So I can't imagine that some of these people are anywhere other than the internet.
Yeah,
I mean, what else is there, right?
just a vast world of gangs and motorcycles.
That's terrible. Let's just go.
So we got the internet and we got the gangs. Is that it? There's no in between?
I guess. I mean, I think I'll stick with the internet things.
There's a world in between of susceptible rich people, ripe for exploitation.
That's true. There's a lot of suckers out there.
Also doesn't sound great. Anyway,
Chelsea, have you been saying something?
I was gonna say that you just hear in your head, like on the wind, Onyx. Just still not knowing where it's coming from because this Tressum is totally acting like a Tressum.
Ava, when we all come back alive from this, can you fucking check my shit out? I'm not sure. I know you said it's not malfunctioning, but there's fucking voices, man, and I don't usually have voices besides my own voice in my head. Most of the times, I mean sometimes, but
I've got this. I'm hearing voices, Onyx. So if your text down, maybe it's this bloke's place. Maybe this is Zigzag's deal. Anyway,
Oh.
Zigzag, if your secretary is coming, has she got a carrier? I'm not sure she should ride in the van without a carrier.
I'm astonishingly sure that I've said multiple times, not my secretary, not my PA. I do not have either of these things.
Yeah.
And Onyx is gonna give a look of disdain and look at the wings and start flattering around the room.
I mean, that definitely needs a carrier. That would be unsafe in a van while people are trying to drive. Definitely need a carrier.
hey, she can sit on my lap. Me and Joji will take care of her.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Does that Tressum have claws?
Shows off the claws.
Were you trying to say something? Or just mouth it?
No, this is just Zigzag's like,
Okay. Just making sure we weren't having the same issue that we had before. Yeah.
Alright, I got some fish. If you want some, and I just reach in my crate and jab it and bring out a fish, just a random like little neon tetra thing. Think you want one?
Onyx will accept. Start
Great.
pawing at the fish.
Yeah. See? She's fine.
And she's gonna come over and she's gonna start nuzzling on you.
So cute.
I think it sees you as a food source. Fish
Fine.
person.
she's gonna start pawing at the jacket a little bit.
Okay. Maybe on the trip we can have some more.
All right. You go down in the garage. There's a hover van, unmarked, unremarkable. While the corps have been very busy recently, it doesn't make a lot of sense to call attention to yourselves. And yeah, you begin driving with Shade at the wheel. And
I do have proficiency in all vehicles.
We are going to assume that you are not going to go directly off the road with just normal driving. The address that Zigzag has provided takes you to a small sort of drain culvert in the side of Moontree City Isle itself. It's on the sort of southwestern corner. You see a large warehouse kind of back across the way, and this is largely a somewhat rundown warehouse district. And as you make your way to this tunnel, you can see that the gate that blocks off the culvert is attached to a palm pad reader that controls locks. What would you all like to do?
So essentially this is just a locked door.
Yes.
That we've come across. Okay. Well, not too much about that.
I mean, I could ram the van into it.
I think we're trying to be subtle, aren't we?
Right. I can stealthily ram the van into it.
I would love to see that.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna start revving up.
Maybe we'll make that plan B.
Oh,
I think we could
what's
let
plan
a
A
plan,
then?
like plan E at this point.
And at this point, Onyx is just gonna roll her eyes, and in everyone's heads, let the professional handle this.
Oh, my brain is seriously like
Pulls out the
malfunctioning.
claws for thieves' tools.
Cool. No, I think I heard that too.
And gonna act like as if nothing's happening. Like, this cat doesn't know, this Tressum doesn't know what you're talking about. They just so happen to have thieves' tools.
What? Where did the cat even pull that out from? What is going on here?
Laws, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's
Chelsea,
really smart.
if you'd like to give me a Thieves' Tools check.
Do I just click on it?
Yes.
Do
I
just
love
click
that
on it?
mug so much. Look at that mug.
Thank you.
Oh, so beautiful.
22.
Look at it.
Yeah. Onyx will sort of flap over to the gate, and you just sort of see. And you'll see the sort of it's kind of like those metal gates that come down over like storefronts sometimes, with like multiple bars will just sort of retract up and slide into the entrance of the culvert, and the way is now open.
Can the van fit through this culvert, or are we getting out of the van now?
No. The van will not fit through the culvert.
Okay.
It's a culvert.
You can certainly try.
Hey, I didn't think cats could pick locks.
Wow.
Tressums are really smart. So.
Are they?
Mm-hmm.
Like
In fact, I even have a theory that there's this cat burglar going around. Everyone thinks it's like a humanoid, but I think it might be some sort of animal, maybe even a Tressum. So if this Tressum can do it, maybe that Tressum can too.
How much did you think somebody would pay for a smart cat burglar? Cat.
Well, Tressums are kind of just everywhere, right?
Yeah, but most of them can't pick locks.
I don't know. How many do you know?
Wow.
I don't know. My theory is that the cat burglar is actually kind of looks around a mirror chameleon.
Ooh, that's a good theory. We should compare notes, Joe.
We should.
That's where
We'll have to do that when we get back alive.
Onyx is just gonna roll her eyes and start flapping forward.
Okay.
Though slightly flattered that they're having this conversation.
So the culvert and the pipes beyond it are cold, dark, and wet. The water in the pipes comes up to about your ankles, for those of you who are medium creatures, and is probably calf high on Joku.
Oh, just left. I hope these tunnels are flooded. Ah, that would be so amazing.
And yeah, so the water in the pipe comes up to about your ankles. If you're a medium creature, it would be almost probably belly high on Onyx, if Onyx wasn't flying. Sound echoes oppressively in here. Your ears are filled with the sound of water flowing past you and the sloshing and splashing of your own steps. Waiting for Joel to finish. There we go.
Yeah, sorry, I had to go for just a second.
No, you're fine. You're in about knee-deep water for you. Half high. So after several minutes of working your way sort of down and forward through the pipes, you come to what is an obviously wrong situation. In front of you, you can see the pipe that you're in continue, but offset nearly half of its 10-foot diameter to the right. The stone that blocks the left half of your tunnel is not dull gray duracrete of the pipes, or the brown of sort of the rock of the island. It's a pale stone, slightly bluish gray. And it's twisted with different colors of stone and different textures mixed together in a way that you can only describe as unnatural.
Oh, this is really cool. I like chip some off. Get a little sample.
Ava has a cantrip. I'll stick it into the chat. So
Oh, I have that too.
So do I.
We all got the same cantrip.
We spend a lot of time searching the internet. So basically, you just see her sort of twitch her head, and her single question is, "Tell me everything there is to know about," and describes this rock. What is this rock? Picture search.
You get back that it's a type of rock that isn't found a lot here. It's more found to the west. It isn't usually found on Moontree City proper, or even right in the sort of surrounding environs. Like the it's not like it's found on the shore of the lake. It's found a bit further to the west. Has no particularly special properties or anything. It's essentially a type of semi-crystalline, like it's like a quartz almost.
Ooh.
Ava snaps her fingers and dismisses, so a little orb appeared and gave that answer, so everybody should know that answer. And she sort of snaps her fingers and it dissipates, and it's like, it's just rock. Not from
But it's not just rock. It came from somewhere else. It shouldn't be here. That's not just something. That means something.
There's been an earthquake. That's what it means.
Earthquakes can move chunks of rock from different places to another place? That's not really how earthquakes work.
I think it is. It's like the earth is quaking, right? It's moving.
Right, but it moves stuff around in the same area. It doesn't, like, take something from miles and miles and miles that way and plunks it underground over here.
What if there's another cryptid at work and it's more like a rock elemental?
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, that sounds like it'd be worth a lot of money.
I mean, can you really
Wait,
put
the rocks?
I mean,
Everything has a price. Jojo,
oh,
Jogu,
I just call it goo most of the time.
Goo.
oh, please do not call me that.
What did you think was gonna happen, Joe?
No clue. Jogo
Oh.
actually looks a little annoyed at the attention being focused on him and name calling. Yeah, whatever. Let's keep going. Let's find more rocks.
Well, wait, which way are we going? Do the maps from the cat secretary Tressum rogue thing have directions of which of these we go off?
So you don't really have much in this area. I will say, as you've said this, and this maybe occurs to Ava first, like as you've said, like, there was an earthquake. The way that the pipe is just sort of cleanly shifted to the right doesn't feel like something an earthquake should do. Like, you're kind of holding that position, but you are looking at it, and like you almost even walk forward a little bit. It's like a perfectly smooth cleave line that just holds something over. There's no damage to the duracrete, etc. And as Shade, as you're sort of, where are we going? What are we doing? The pipe ahead of you, albeit slightly to the right, looks like it just continues to be a pipe. But to the left, sort of off to your left-hand side, you can see a narrow crevice that leads into what appears to be a natural tunnel in the rock. And a stream of water is flowing from that crevice as well, joining the water from the pipes. You will probably need to move some rubble clear to make it through easily, otherwise you'll have to squeeze to the point of risking getting stuck for those of you who are medium creatures. Jogu and Onyx should be able to get through just fine.
So, like, if we just follow the water, then we'll find a fish, right? Fish like water. I assume, fish woman. Is that accurate?
I didn't.
Frog?
Me?
Yeah.
Newt.
Oh, so close.
Oh, I'm not an actual Newt. I just mean that's my name. So if you're gonna call me something, may as well be my name.
Right. Newt and goo. Okay.
That's the closest I get, I'm sure.
Fish like water. So if we follow the water, then we find the fish, get
Yeah,
the fish,
usually.
get paid. Great.
Save the fish. Yep.
Sure. What do we? Okay. Let's move some fucking rocks then.
Okay. I mean, I'm not gonna be much help, but sure. I'll watch, I guess.
Let's get an athletics check to move a rock.
I am proficient in that, so I can try. I don't know if other people are athletic.
Nope.
Jogu tries to crawl through, and from the other side of the rocks starts to move things.
So we can count that as a help action if you want to, or do you want to do the athletics roll on your own? Yeah.
Let me check a feature.
So Ava walks up to the crack, and you see a sort of look at the crack, and then she just goes through the crack. So Ava has a feature called Amorphous, which is an upgrade to her tech, where she can bend and contort and squeeze through a space as narrow as an inch without actually having to squeeze. So she just disappears through the crack and comes out on the other side.
So you're
I
gonna.
didn't even look at the tech. I'm so annoyed at myself. I totally
just
forgot
saw-
to look at the tech.
Well, that's also, I think, one that's part of that particular class.
Yeah, it's a class.
It's with the evolutionist.
You're going to see something very disquieting, though, as Ava just is sort of like looks at the crevice, sort of ponders it for a second, and keeps moving. Instead of doing what any creature Ava's size should do, which would be to like sort of, okay, wedge, interact, she just sort of like keeps folding in. It just sort of like through, and then on the other side, you see her expand back out.
What the fuck? Why can't I do that?
Yeah, that looks really handy.
I shout through the crack. Shade, we could work on this. We could work on this. It
Okay,
just
but
a few creds from
Ava,
your
you're
share.
expensive. Like, this was expensive just to get my body back in living-ish order. I'm not rolling in money. I don't have a PA like you and Zigzag.
Yeah, but we're going to be rolling in money when we finish finding this fish. And then we can talk.
Okay.
So I'll have a look at this crack from the other side.
Yeah, so, and like I said, we can have a couple of...
I was waiting to see what Joel was looking at before I rolled.
Yeah, I mean, my athletics is fine. I'll give the help action.
And I will also say, having a couple of people on one side and the other, I'll also, in addition to the rolling with advantage, I'm going to lower the DC. To sort of account for that multiple people helping.
Yeah.
22.
22.
Yeah, you're able to sort of wedge. It's a large chunk of stone, but essentially with Jogu and potentially Ava helping from the other side, you're able to sort of just lever it open more, so that you can pass through and Newt should be able to pass through without any real difficulties. Jogu and Ava, you do notice on the other side, the water is much colder. That is sort of flowing down through this natural rock tunnel. And you also hear very faintly the sound, it sounds like air flow. But yeah, you now all have access to this rock path.
So something else that only Ava noticed on the other side is that Jogu is picking up rocks far too big for his tiny little arms and moving them to the side with relative ease.
Strong little cobalt.
So yeah, do you want to...
Ava made very little attempt to actually move a rock. She did point out rocks that might be susceptible to being moved, but was not actually. She's got nails. She wasn't up for breaking any of them.
And Newt also didn't help. She just talked to a streaming drone and tried to pat the Tressum.
To which Onyx was okay with, because we're making friends over here.
Oh, and I give you
like your
fish.
vibe. You like your vibe.
But yeah, she does like a monologue to the streaming drone in front of her, like explaining everything that's going on, but like make it super dramatic.
You're adding in your like 15-minute equivalent of YouTube episode cuts series. So yeah, as you begin to make your way out, you all make your way forward. Most of you are shivering just very slightly at how cold the water is running by your legs. And here, instead of in the pipe, you were, like I said, this sound is almost oppressive of echoing water, sloshing steps, and then just a little bit of the city noise from outside. Everything is kind of a muted hush. And for most of you, this would probably be extremely unusual, given that you live in a city crammed with people, vehicles, advertisements, etc. This is very quiet. Yeah, and you continue making your way forward. The path that you're following is tight and low ceilinged. You're going to need to proceed single file, and the tallest of you, probably Shade. You're not really standing fully straight. You're not like crouched yet, but you're, slumping your posture a bit to avoid catching your forehead on a rock outcropping.
I have two things to say.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I forgot to tell you that I took fighting style blind fighting, which I assume counts when I'm not in a fight also. So I have blind sight within 10 feet
Yes.
of me at all times.
Okay.
And then when you're done with your exposition, I want to do a survival check to try to track the fish.
Yeah, I also want to do the search cantrip to ask if the beholder fish is or has been anywhere around here.
Yeah, so go ahead and give me the survival check, and the search cantrip was on the beholder fish.
Do I have advantage because my favorite enemy is aberrations?
Yes.
Fuck yeah. Doesn't matter. 12 is shit.
You're sort of looking around, you're checking the walls of this rock tunnel. You don't see... How should I put this? You don't see positive signs, like you don't see signs that, oh yes, the beholder fish has come through here, but you do feel better about this kind of area being its habitat as opposed to the pipes, which felt weird to potentially try to find it there. Is drawn from the general information that is commonly known by creatures.
Yeah, it's something about the creatures in a region knowing it. So if they don't know anything about it, like they've never seen it, then I wouldn't get an answer back.
Give me a d20 roll.
Ooh, okay. It's my first roll of the game. See if I remember how to roll on Roll20, because it's been a long time. 9! Why didn't my thing roll?
You have to enable 3D dice.
Ah, yes. Anyway, it was a 9.
So you know what happens when, like, no one in the area knows this. Nothing happens. You just sort of pose the question, and that's it.
Yep.
Otherwise, this little orb appears, and it gives you the sort of Cliff Notes version of what everyone in the area generally knows about it. What does your orb look like?
Ooh, it's like a little water bubble, but like really bright, like neon blue.
So like neon, yeah. So like it looks like almost like a bubble that has like a neon light shining into it.
Yeah.
Catching that edge. Okay. You're gonna see a shape appear, and it's very bright blue, but it's jagged and not at all an orb. And you just hear sort of a static noise back from it.
Oh. That's weird.
Did the rest of us see
Goo?
that? Or just...
Yeah,
yes, everyone can see the orb.
I'd be walking with Joe Goo. Goo, do you maybe want to try your search? See what happens? I might just be out of reception.
Sure. What are red fruits? Yes, I said ask. Whisper.
What did you ask?
What are some red fruits? He's just wanting random information.
What does your orb? What does your orb normally look like?
Dogu's orb, similar to every. Actually, a little different. It's fully black, but also has lines of light blue glow.
You'll see a black orb with lines of white, light blue. Just sort of appear and begin like reciting, apple, strawberry, cranberry.
Okay, that's good.
Okay, so yours works. Maybe it's something to do with the beholder fish. It has some like jamming abilities, maybe.
Does that sound like something that like I would know that aberrations and shit can do?
Give me a nature check.
Yay.
I'm proficient, but I'm not very intelligent. 14.
There's two avenues occur to you within this. One is that it is possible, aberrations often have mental effects. If in some way it is scrambled the knowledge of itself among people in the area, that could explain the sort of static. The only other thing that you can come up with is that the beholder fish is directly affecting the spell or itself, which is more worrisome. Because at that point, it is able to directly influence magic in its area. You do know, as an expert on aberrations, many of the larger aberrations, such as the beholder, do in fact have the ability to affect magic.
Hey, so if the beholder fish is actually just like a shrunken beholder, but it's like a legit, not just a fucking little fishy dude, it's actually like a big fucking monster, we're gonna fucking die, first of all. So say goodbye to your money. It's going to the unions, I guess, whatever those are. But second of all, we gotta be real fucking careful because it might be affecting magic in this area.
Oh, that's really cool.
Which part? The dying?
I mean, the second part. I mean, we get more information.
So
Jogu.
Yeah.
So Ava decides to see whether magic in general is affected by using minor illusion to cast what looks like a little red laser beam and like moving it around on the ground in front of the Tressum and up the walls to see whether or not the Tressum wants to go chasing after the laser pointer light, like a big cat. Basically, just messing with the Tressum. While we're...
The laser light does appear perfectly as you intended it to. I leave it up to Chelsea how Onyx responds to the laser toy.
Onyx is going to think about it for a second. He needs to keep cover. So Onyx starts flying around after the laser pointer.
So you're here sort of batting around the ceiling. Jogu, as you're kind of watching this, you suddenly get the sense that someone or something is watching you.
Ooh. Hey. Jogu's gonna start looking around. Part of his class is that he has spectral sight. And the souls of creatures you can see in your vision are colorful, formless objects floating within them, as long as they're not obscured by surfaces. Is he just seeing the souls of everyone around?
Yes.
Okay.
You see five, you see four others. It's a 5-person party. You see 4 others, nothing else. You sort of look down, further in, you look behind you, you're not seeing anything.
Hey, Shade. You know how you were hearing voices in your head?
Yeah.
Now I'm being looked at.
Oh, fuck.
I mean, you got Watcher? Watcher's always here. No, she's pointing at the little drone.
Yeah, but more of, like, the intense
of course.
streaming does. Like, something else.
Can you tell from where? Jogu?
Not a clue.
Fuck, okay, well, we should be real fucking careful because, again, if this is a big bad aberration, we're all fucked.
Yeah. Do you know anything else about beholders?
I know so much about beholders. It's like a fucking encyclopedia. What do you want to know?
Can they look at you when they're not there?
Oh, like, can beholders look at you when they're not there?
Give me a nature check. Wow.
Do I have inspiration for being super annoying?
I think you have advantage if you're...
Oh, right. Yeah. Never mind. Okay, 7 is fine. It's not fine. Hold on. I'm gonna, use... Fuck. Knowledge from a past life?
So I'm gonna add a d6 to that. That's much better. 13.
13. You know that beholders, that when beholders make a lair in an area, they can cause people to feel like they're being watched, even if they aren't.
Yeah, they can kind of do that, but they can't actually see us, maybe, probably. Beholders are enigmas. But when they make lairs, you can feel like you're being watched, even if you're not being watched. So if this fish has made this its lair, then that might be what you're feeling.
You also know they can manifest eyes on surfaces nearby them.
They can also manifest eyes on surfaces nearby them, so if you see an eye, poke it real good.
That's super creepy. Also, why did you say fish? Giant quotes. Do you not know what we're after?
I mean, it's a beholder fish.
No,
But
it's
maybe
a fish.
do we have
Photos and everything.
How do we know it's a fish?
Because we have photos. Remember Zigzag? And I bring up Zigzag's blog with all the photos. See?
I mean, you kind of look like a fish. Not really, but,
I mean,
but you're
I kind
not
of
a fish.
No, I kind of am.
You said you weren't a fish. I called you a fish, and you said you weren't a fish.
No. I said I wasn't really a newt, but my name is Newt. I kind of am a fish, and also kind of a frog.
That's so confusing.
So many things are kind of fish.
Well, you're kind of alive, so, you know, I'm not the only weird one. Like, kind of dead, kind of alive, kind of fish. We're all kind of something.
Okay. Well, anyway, poke eyes if you see eyes. Maybe fish, maybe not. Feeling of being watched is pushing me towards more beholdery than fishy. We should keep looking.
I'm gonna kind of start looking for eyes right about now.
But do you continue forward?
Yes, but also, does Jogu see any eyes watching us?
You can give me a perception check. 16. No, you don't see anything. It's a very small space, so we will rule sort of with that. I will say with that 16. What's your passive perception?
15.
Okay, so we'll take the 16 as an ongoing roll to kind of be very aware of the rock walls on either side of you and forward from you. So from your point, I don't think you're like watching behind you constantly.
No.
And you're also in high alert for that feeling of being watched, having a location. I will say the feeling of being watched is not going away, but it's not locating somewhere. Like when you sort of almost get that sense of being able to feel eyes looking at you. So you continue. After a while longer, probably another 20 minutes. It's kind of hard going. You're not moving very quickly. You come to a split in the path. You can see there's two, again, sort of fissures in the rock, broader than the one where you squeezed through. Like it's just more tunnels opening up. The path to the left, you can feel warm air stirring from it. And the path to the right, the water is flowing much more intensely from. There's more water coming from that side.
I mean, obviously we have to go to the water, right? I mean, that's where fish are.
Yeah, if this is a fish.
It is a fish, definitely.
I don't know how you can say that definitely.
We saw it. I mean, Zigzag saw it.
Yeah,
I mean, Zigzag's friends saw it. So.
Right, so this is like telephone at this point. Like maybe they said it was a fascist and it got turned into fish.
No? I mean, I don't think so. We have photos.
I don't know about you, but I was at Zigzag's house and
yeah, we were all there.
Yeah, and I'm not convinced that anyone who lives in a place like that could possibly have knowledge about a great many things, to
I
be
know it's
frank.
so nice, and we know how smart rich people are. They're
Yeah.
not.
So,
Zigzag, super smart. What are you guys even talking about? He's like one of the smartest guys I know.
Can I make a check to try to track the fish?
Sure.
Ish.
Jesus fucking Christ! I hope we don't get any fights tonight. 8.
8.
I hope we do.
You still don't see any particular signs of it. It would make sense to follow water, but
I can have a look down there if you want. If you're worried.
I mean, we can follow the water. You're the fish expert. I'm the aberration expert. And they don't really give a shit about water or warm air, so.
Well, fish like water, so.
proceeding to the right. The water's indeed, the current is getting stronger, and it's beginning to rise, actually. It is getting up to the knees of the medium-sized characters, and it is chest high on the smallest of you. It is also intensely cold. Onyx, you barely have room to be able to keep aloft. With the tightness of the walls, it is difficult for you. And you are also beginning to move slightly uphill, which is making the height of the water even harder. Jogu, are you wanting to just sort of keep going, or?
I mean, we can stop and check things out. I can I can send Watcher ahead and see what's up there, see if it's worth it.
Yeah, I can also look ahead a bit, but I have to
Go
swim the rest of the way.
Right, question for you. I don't particularly know the strength of a Tressum. Like, could I assist in some way? Like, I know, like, I'm a small creature, but he's also, like, I don't know what the strength of a Tressum is.
What's the strength on your character sheet? I think it's an 8. I'm pretty sure.
How do I see that? Negative. All I'm seeing is a -1. Is
okay, and then in the
possible?
underneath, so it's an 8.
Oh, a 7.
Sure.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Could I like assist in some way?
I'm gonna say between your relatively limited strength and how hard it is for you to even be able to generate enough lift for you at this point, because you really can't extend your wings all the way. You're kind of like you have your wings cupped in and are just beating air as fast as you can. I don't think you're going to be able to help Jogu. Certainly someone can pick him up. He's essentially the same size as you.
If I popped my motorcycle out of my pocket, it's a seat 2-person. Would that get him enough height that it would be more comfortable? And then we can just ride on my motorcycle, and my motorcycle just drives. There's nothing in the vehicle rules that says it can't be submerged. It's really.
There's nothing in the law that says dogs can't play basketball.
Given the fact that your motorcycle is powered by hell beings,
And it's magic.
Yes, powered by hell beings. I would say that it probably could run better submerged than a lot of things. It will be incredibly difficult to you do not have that much clearance side to side.
It's a 1x1. It's just
It's a 2x1.
1. Yeah, 2, 2, 1.
I'm just gonna send Watcher ahead.
Get him, Lena.
And look through their eyes and their senses to explore what's going on ahead.
Yeah. If you want to try to summon the motorcycle, I will say you can. And you are sending Watcher forward. After what you would think would be a few minutes, if you're moving Watcher at like a normal pace of walking,
Probably a bit faster. I mean, if we're If we're while everyone else is talking, Newt will just send Watcher ahead.
After what would be probably for you all a couple of minutes of this kind of half walk, half swim, you will see a rounded off cavern, like it dead ends, and you can see what looks like a spring coming up.
Ooh. And that's ahead of us. We haven't reached that yet.
Correct.
Okay.
That'll be like.
But there's no like obvious.
No obvious
bits
branching.
where we're gonna drown. Or...
Yeah.
So we're fine.
Seems like it.
Yeah. Okay. I say that. I bring Watcher back, and while they're on their way back, they're like, it seems fine. I mean, there's no place where we definitely don't have any air, and it actually looks really cool. There's like a big spring in the middle and a big cabin. Definitely looks like fish would like that.
Great. That's so great. I'll pop out my motorcycle and I'll get on the front. So just this 2x1 big motorcycle that has like little demons running it pops into existence. Like I take something out of my pocket and it's just motorcycle. And tell Jogu, hey, get on the back. You can ride in the bitch seat. Oh, that's a really kind of misogynistic thing to call it. Why are they called that? Fuck. Anyway, get on the back.
I don't know why they call it that. Am I gonna get hurt if I step on this thing?
No, it's very safe.
Just like you're driving.
Yeah, I got us here safely.
With the other option of swimming, Jogu jumps on.
Okay. It is painfully slow progress for you.
It has a speed of 700 feet. So what is that in painfully slow?
It's that you're moving through a somewhat winding rock passage that you have barely enough room to steer in.
I'm proficient.
Yes. Yes, you are.
Well, Newt's just gonna swim ahead. She's so excited. And I've got a 40-foot speed.
Yep.
Swimming
Yeah,
speed.
you have enough room to sort of carefully dip into the water. Onyx, you're able to continue flying sort of through the top of the passageway.
Ava's just resolutely wading down this passage.
So indeed, after several minutes of this, complete with lots of curses from Shade as the bike wedges repeatedly, you make it to this small. So it's only about a 10-foot diameter, sort of round. I don't want to call it like a cavern or anything, but rounded off terminus of this passage. And you see the spring that you saw through Watcher's eyes. And it's, as you get closer to it and you sort of peer over, it's not a spring, it's water flowing up a vertical tunnel, which is about 10 feet in diameter. And Newt, as the first one to get there, the water is again colder. But as you look down, some ways below you, you can see light down there, sort of orange and flickering.
Ooh.
What would you like to do?
Dive and see what's down there, obviously. And my familiar is waterproof because I'm in water most of the time. So yeah, I'm just gonna dive down and have a look.
Okay. Give me an athletics check.
Oh, that's not good. It's not gonna be good. Athletics. Ugh. That's a 0 technically.
So you sort of are like, you even say to people like, there's a light down there, and you sort of do a dive in, sink just a little bit, and then get like chucked back up out by the force of the water.
Oof.
I feel like something worse should happen when it's a 0.
I feel
I
like
mean, I
you
wasn't
shouldn't say
in
that.
danger. I would agree if I was doing something risky,
So
but there wasn't any sort of inherent risk
That's
in
fair.
this.
so let me
Yeah.
let me say this mechanically to perhaps explain this. What a fumble would have been losing ground in the attempt to get down. Versus failing would be kind of you just hold your own against the current versus
Okay.
actually making progress down.
Cool.
Jogu is going to grab. Is the motorcycle still there
Yeah.
in the room? Okay, yeah. If he's still on the motorcycle, he's just going to grab hold of it, hold tight, and temporarily try to use Soul Scout.
Whoa.
His manifestation, which you haven't even seen before, but is invisible at the moment. He becomes blind to his own senses, and he's going to try to have it go down 30 feet, if possible.
Is this corporeal? I'm asking more for my own edification.
It is not corporeal, correct.
Yeah, so it's going to be able to get 30 feet down from you. You would now have a much better sense because you can see through its senses. You would suspect that you need to get about 8 down to where you can see that sort of flickering light, which you can now see quite clearly through this thing's senses. So you'd guess it's about 80 feet down. And yeah.
Okay. Jogu's senses return to him.
How big is this opening?
About a 10-foot diameter circle.
Are there any
Sure.
fish in the water?
You
Or any
have-
animals that are
You have
in
not
the water?
seen any, no.
So this is big enough to ride a motorcycle through. That's what you're saying.
Yep.
It goes down pretty deep, like 70, 90 feet, something in there.
That's pretty far. Yeah, my motorcycle's really fast. So,
How heavy is your motorcycle?
How what?
How heavy? How much does it weigh?
I don't think that they wrote that in the rules, but let me
I'm
double
going to say
check.
it's a normal weight
3 tons.
motorcycle.
Because I can breathe, so, but I'm just not very strong. So if we can get something to weigh me down, maybe I can get down there.
If it's the normal weight of a motorcycle, it's pretty heavy. I have to be on it though. It can't do things without me on it. Like you can't
well,
ride it without me.
Well, I don't want to ride it. I just want to hold on to it and let it sink. That's not riding it. I'm not turning it on or anything.
So I think the way I would read the rules, fuck, I don't know. Golly, did you read over the stuff for?
I had at one point, but it's been a little bit.
I think the way I'm understanding the Infernal Rider is that it can't act without me. Like I have to be on it for it to do anything.
Yeah,
I don't
but
know how
it's not
like
acting though.
right. If we just push it into the hole,
Yeah.
Though
You're just
I'm not
pushing
sure
it
if
into
you'd
the
be able
water.
to reclaim it then. Like, it's going to sink.
right.
You could...
If you want to sink to the bottom of the water, why not use the time-honored method of tying rocks to your feet?
Oh fuck! Thank you, Ava. That reminded me of the time that we put concrete block. We didn't do. No, we're good people. We didn't do that to anybody. No concrete. Anyway, if we had, it reminded me that I'm dead. I don't have to breathe. Let's just fucking sink, Newt.
Yeah, let's fucking sink.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna drive my motorcycle into the hole.
Are other people attempting to go with them?
Probably not.
Probably not.
Perilous for anyone who's not dead or can breathe.
I just trust some water, not Van.
Okay. So
This is completely full of water, right?
this tunnel down, yes.
Wait, Newt, how are we getting back up?
Who cares?
Well, I can't get paid if I'm stuck in a hole at the bottom of a cavern.
Look, long-term planning isn't really my forte. I just kind of like go where the clues take me, and that's a big glowing thing underneath the water that looks like it could be a clue. So we'll figure out how to get back up later. Besides, the water's like flowing up, so we can just let go of the motorcycle and float back up.
I'm not. One, I'm not leaving my motorcycle. Two, I'm not that
put it back in your
light.
pocket?
Yeah, I can just put it back in my pocket. I'm not that light. I don't think I can just float back up.
I mean, it pushed it. Okay, clarification. The current is pushing up, right?
Yes.
So if we let go, we'll flow upwards, like
Yes.
in a current. Yeah. So
Alright.
it should be fine.
So, like, making my motorcycle back into a rod is a bonus action, Galway. If I need to do that quickly, I'm
Yep.
just letting you know. So it's not like a reaction, but I can do it pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's right. So you basically are getting on the bike and trying to use it to help you sink.
Yeah.
Yep. You all begin sinking. Not as quickly as you would think, given that it's a motorcycle in water. The current going up is pretty strong. You sink.
I've got my fucked up eyes, like, peeled, trying to see what we're sinking towards, so if it's dangerous, I can pop us back up.
You drop about 50 feet. And you each take 1 cold damage.
Ooh.
And then as you drop about another 30, you can see there is essentially a doorway off of the side of this tunnel.
Ooh.
You also
I
now
wish
see that this
you just
tunnel
had
goes
screen.
down much more. But you can see that this was where the light was coming from.
Can we talk underwater if we don't have to breathe? Or is that a different thing?
That's a different thing because you can't.
Okay.
But I'm gonna, like, do
Yeah.
a questioning face at you and then point at the doorway.
I'm gonna point at the doorway, very excited, big grin, like yes, 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 doorway.
So...
I open the door immediately.
It's just an archway more than a doorway.
Okay.
So.
Go through it.
I'm gonna try to, like, manipulate the motorcycle while we're sinking through the doorway?
That's gonna be a bit beyond you probably because it's getting buffeted by the current. You should be able to essentially time it of you hop through and then return it to a rod.
Okay, I'll do that.
You do that. You both go through. You find yourself standing in a long passageway.
Are we
essentially
still
running
underwater?
Are we still underwater?
No. Essentially perpendicular to the water tunnel. The surge of water behind you continues upwards. And you can see that you've gone through a small force shield that's keeping the water in there. And you wonder if it's related to the water treatment facilities or something else.
Hey,
Okay.
be sure to go back and get the rest of them. I think they can hold their breath for
We
long
don't need
enough.
to. It's okay. And I send Watcher up there, and they pop up in the water and they're glowing and stuff. And then with my voice coming out of their thing, Newt just says, "There's like a really weird like tunnel and doorway down here. So come down, quick!" And then fly back down.
How are we getting down there? Because
Newt, look, I know you're a fish, and fish probably aren't that smart. I don't know. I don't really know fish. I know aberrations, but I think we need to go back and get them with the motorcycle.
I mean, I'm actually like super smart, but
Oh,
I guess I'm not that
sorry.
wise.
Then for
So, like-
insulting the fish. I didn't know fish were smart.
It's okay. I'm like book smart, but not so much like people and face smart. So yeah, I get that. I can stay down here and maybe scout ahead, and you can go back and get them.
Sure, yeah. I don't care. Have fun.
Lena cares. You're gonna die if you scout ahead without us. Breaking character for a second. Anyway.
So you can.
It's not gonna wait.
So I will say as we go to break, you can Shade step back into through the force field and just let the current carry you up.
Okay.
Once you're up there, you can reinstantiate the motorcycle. It's not like everyone needs to ride it. They just need to hang on to it.
Yeah, they can just hold their breath, right?
You'll drop. Everyone will hold their breaths. Everyone going down will take 3 points of cold damage.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that to people. Oops.
As you're sinking into this progressively colder water. Newt, really quickly before we go to break, how would you explore? You see it's a long passageway that's just going to either side.
I'd probably send Watcher first to just look on like one side, look down one side until they find something, and then look down the other side.
Okay. They go out, say, a couple hundred feet one way and don't find anything. Go a couple hundred feet the other way. They don't seem to find anything. So this is making you think that you're probably going to have to go farther to get to anything. But the passageway is lit, and it has sort of large cables lining the wall that, as you're looking through Watcher, is network cables. They're older, but they do seem to still be working. And before we go to break, as Watcher sort of returns to you from the second direction, and you've been, looking through their eyes this entire time, something occurs to you with your book smarts, not people smarts. But it's taken a second to click through because you've just been so excited to check out these tunnels.
Mm-hmm.
These tunnels are lit with standard sort of emergency lighting, which is this sort of cold whitish blue. It's not flickering or orange. But this is definitely where you saw flickering orange light from.
Hey.
And with that, as people splash through the force wall behind you to get into the tunnel, we will go ahead and take a quick break. It'll be about 10-15 minutes, and then we will be back for the second half. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. And like I said, stand up, run to the bathroom if you need to, get a snack, stretch. We'll be back real soon. Everybody, God willing, we're back. Shows how confident I am in the tech. In the first half, sorry, I was changing myself back over to push to talk here. In the first half, our intrepid explorers critiqued Zigzag's apartment / Zigzag. Got to the tunnels, made their way through the tunnels, found a strange displacement of rock and pipe, and made their way into sort of a more natural tunnel. And then proceeded to, while feeling like they were being watched from somewhere, make their way successfully down a vertical tunnel of water, very cold, very quickly flowing upwards water, which they achieved by hanging on to Shade's motorcycle and sinking to a point where they had seen flickering orange light, which turned out to be a hallway that sort of ran perpendicular this tunnel, extending on in either direction for at least 200 feet in either direction based on Newt's examinations. And as we sort of left for break, the group reunited, and Newt made the observation that the light here is bluish white and not at all flickery. So that's weird. I did want to very quickly, because this is a thing that we talk about a lot at Helpful Goat, and this is a thing that's relevant. And it's come up before, but it's never come up in a context where I felt like it wasn't a breach of disclosure for someone. We were about half an hour late going on. That's because I was not doing well mentally and emotionally. The wonderful people that you see around me in the call encouraged me to do whatever I needed to do. Step away, not play. Wait. They were all just on the call waiting to see if I was going to decide that I did want to play, and importantly, wanted to play. This is a thing that I have had the opportunity to say multiple times, and an ethos that I try to have go through any programming I do and any programming we do at Helpful Goat. The people around the table are more important than anything on the table. Period. End of story. I mentioned that Helpful Goat's an amazing community, full of wonderful, supportive people. Y'all showed that tonight. I deeply appreciate it. And I'm really appreciative also that you made it clear that it was good for me to, if I was feeling up to it, come back and play, because I'm having a lot of fun. I hope you all are. I hope everybody watching is having a lot of fun, but I did want to do this in addition to our, exclamation point, donate, and trying to get you to look at causes. Take care of yourselves. If you're not feeling good, if your things are shitty, bad, hard, whether that's internally, externally, whatever, please reach out to people around you. Reach out to your family, reach out to your friends, reach out to your loved ones, reach out to a support hotline, reach out to a counselor at your school, reach out to somebody. Because it is very, very easy to try to just deal with it alone. Deal with it as, oh, I need to get through it, or to be ashamed of it. Because despite the fact that I've fucking told everyone that the people around the table are more important than anything on the table, I still tried to behave like that wasn't the case. It's hard. So, again, I encourage you, reach out. People love you. People support you. People want you to be okay. If you need to, do. If you need an online community that is full of people who have done an amazing job for me, for each other, for everyone, again, exclamation point Discord, you can join us. But please, have somebody and reach out. Having done that, having covered the recap, I put these in the opposite order that they should have been, because now, major story discontinuity. You all find yourselves in the passageway. As I mentioned, or as Newt saw and explored, it's Duracrete. There are sort of network cables, large bundles of network cables running along both sides for the length of it in either direction. They certainly seem like they're older, but they seem functional. You all, as you arrive down, have an intensifying feeling of being watched. And what would you like to do?
It's the beholders, y'all. It's definitely fucking beholders.
I mean, it means we're getting closer, right? So it's good.
Do you understand, like, what a beholder is? Like,
Yeah. I've seen them, not in real life, but in like pictures and like expositions and stuff. And they're just like big balls and have lots and lots of eyeballs and big mouths.
yeah, they're like super hyper intelligent, really powerful.
Yeah.
They will straight up murder us real fucking good without blinking one of their eyes. They'll just, yeah, we're dead. Ava's not bringing us back this time. We are just dead in the ground, rotting, even more rotting than I already am. So,
Yeah, but we can talk to them, and also like we'll see them and we'll record them, and everyone will know that it's real and exists, and that's the most important thing. So it's fine.
no, the most important thing is that we live to get paid.
Everybody knows that beholders exist. In the first place, it's hardly the scoop of the century, is it? And with Shade, if we're all dead, we don't get paid, and we don't get a scoop either. A fish. A beholder fish, that would be interesting. A beholder just exists. We all know that.
Oh, it'd be like super good for views.
I didn't know we were
What?
here to make a snuff movie where we all get slain by a beholder fish. That was not the deal.
I feel
mean-
like if you show that on your stream, that violates some terms of service for having like dead people on your stream. I wouldn't recommend that.
Oh, dude, this is
Okay.
the corporate dystopian future.
And
No.
dystopian, there's no court, like there's no terms of service. You can do whatever the hell you want. Right, I have like a lawnmower right outside my window, so it's really hard to hear anything. I'm sorry.
Or is it a motorcycle?
Ooh, no, it's definitely a lawnmower.
I think if we keep going to try to find this fucking beholder fish, then we should like be real fucking careful, like watching everything around us, hyper fucking aware, and also try to move quietly. I know that's hard sometimes, but we should like we want to get the jump on this fucking thing. And I haven't seen any eyes to gouge out, so I'm not sure it knows we're coming. I think it just wants us to think we think it knows we're. I don't think it knows we're coming.
Hey, Goo? What do you think of these cables? I'm gonna have a closer look at the cables, because they're suspicious. What's up with these cables?
They look like they're shielded network cables. Shielded in the sense of like insulated. There's a fair amount of them. Like I said, they seem older. They do not seem like they're part of the city network.
Yeah, okay.
And it's a little bit hard to tell. Like they're just running the length of this tunnel.
So if they're not part of the cities, what would they be a part of?
Could be a corpse. As in a corporation's, not it. This could be a corpse. That's Shade. It could be any number of private groups. It could be, they do look quite old. They could be deprecated architecture from something else. Like, they seem like, you don't see any obvious, junctures in them that are broken. You do see, like you saw with Watcher, in that couple 100 feet in either direction, you did see monitor system lights are on, but that could just mean they didn't bother to turn shit off if it was decommissioned. It doesn't necessarily mean that data's flowing through.
Is there a way to like hack into them and see if what kind of data is flowing in them to see where we are?
That would be extremely difficult. There may be, if these cables are as long as they are, a monitoring station, which would allow you to do something much more akin to that.
Okay. It's probably not that important. I just kind of wanted to know like where we were.
Yeah.
If it's not easy to do, then I'm not
Yeah,
gonna...
it would be hard, and you would risk destroying the network connection.
Okay, cool.
Cool. What do you want to do? Basically, you have left and right.
We have to choose a direction?
Are the cables running both directions?
Yes.
Both directions seem the same. I'm gonna use search again and see if something is alive, for one thing, around here. See if they can tell us which way to go.
And I'm gonna try to track beholder fish again. Together we are competent, perhaps.
Maybe. I doubt it.
What are you asking in search?
See. I'm gonna ask which way would be best to find fish. Just fish in general. That way maybe it won't scramble.
Give me a d20 roll.
Oh, no.
Shade, you actually, with that 17 on survival, think off to the left. You might see a little, some drops of water. That aren't like from Watcher or anything else. So you think you might see something that way. It's a little bit hard to tell. With that 3 on that roll, the orb does not appear.
Cool.
Are you like malfunctioning, Newt?
No, I think it's the beholder fish. It's maybe scrambling my magic somehow.
Right, the beholder fish.
Yes, the beholder fish. It's definitely a fish.
Okay, well, I think maybe to the left. I'm not like hella certain, but there seems to be some like little bits of moisture there. So I don't know.
And did you say you want
to send Watcher that way first?
I already did. There's just like nothing for quite a while. I mean, I can send Watcher ahead. Someone just has to make sure I don't trip over anything.
Can I investigate the water? So
yeah.
Ava.
Interesting. You look at it. It's not a great quantity of water or anything. It's more just sort of droplets. There is something very odd about the water is beaded as it sits on the ground. Like it's sitting in a droplet, which it shouldn't do. Water that drop should have, spread out, be just dampening a patch of the Duracrete. And as you look at that, you get a slight glimmer of luminescence in it. You have seen something that reminds you of this once. When you went to the headquarters for Panoptic Entertainment, and they had a very small fountain in their lobby that was not a water fountain, like an ornamental piece. It was liquid mana.
Ooh.
And that has this, it behaves like liquid, but it has much higher surface tension, essentially, and it has this slight luminescence to it at all times.
Now, this is more interesting. This is not water. These water doesn't stay as a drop. When it falls, it makes big splashy prints like we have done down this other tunnel. It like a puddle. This is still drops. I've only seen this once before, and that was mana. liquid mana.
Ooh.
This seems like a sensible way to go if we are looking for something magical.
Great.
I don't know, that's really fucking weird. Like, fish doesn't drop liquid mana, do they? I'm not a fish expert.
Not usually, but beholder fish are magic, right?
I don't think beholders just leak mana. Do I think beholders just leak mana?
No, though they are powerfully magical creatures.
Like, they're super fucking magic, but, like, they don't just, like, excrete mana from their pores.
Yeah, but imagine what could. Maybe we're gonna find something even better.
Even more deadly.
Yeah, and
No.
more rare and interesting?
Look, I'll be real with ya. I'm just gonna let you know on. It's like, keep this on the DL. Don't fucking tell people this. But most of my great monster conquests that you've heard of, I know you've heard of them.
I
Those
haven't.
the great ones that you've heard of, most of those I faked. Okay, I just caught a bear. It had mange. People thought it was a yeti. I painted a horse. It was not happy about it. I'm not sure what happened to the horse. Like, fuck. Like, I don't actually fight things that can fucking kill me, you know? If this is more dangerous than a fucking beholder.
I mean, I'm still happy to go. Whatever we find, it's gonna be interesting.
I could handle something like that.
Yeah.
This is not one of your online video games. In this situation, you can actually die, as opposed to unlimited lives for
Right,
a
Ava can
small
die.
number of creds.
If Ava dies, we're super fucked, because she's the reason I'm alive right now.
Yeah, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's dangerous. I mean, we're looking at a couple of drops of mana on the ground, and you guys are going, oh no, we should leave because we're gonna die. You don't know what's around the corner.
Okay, we can keep going, but I want the cat in front because it's small, and it will tell you if there's danger, right? Cats do that. You said it was smart.
It is smart, but it's also alive. We're not gonna just send a live creature into something we don't know. Look, I'll send Watcher ahead. As long as I don't run into anything, it should be fine.
I'm going to be looking around to see, are there any other droplets further down the tunnel, and can I see where they've dropped from? Is there a source above where they've sort of fallen from the roof, or does it look like the source isn't visible?
I will say you don't see a source of them. Like, you don't see drops, you don't see condensation on the roof or anything. So either it's invisible, or it's incredibly slow, or whatever left them there is no longer here. And yeah, you can have an eye open as you're going down. So you're proceeding to the left down. If you're trying to move stealthily, everybody give me a stealth check.
Yeah. I'm not good at stealth. I'll also send Watcher ahead and just like hold on to Goo's shoulder or something to make sure I don't fall over.
I never played a ranger before. My natural terrain or whatever doesn't give me anything with stealth, right? I'm trying to skim it. I'm not going to skim you.
No, it means that you can't be slowed down.
Okay.
So if you move at a fast pace, you can still keep your passive perception or something.
Okay.
So 4 for stealth from Ava, 13 from Shade, 23 from Onyx, 11 from Jogu, and a 12 from Newt. Yeah, you're moving pretty silently. Onyx is just completely silently flapping down the hallway. Like, you see the wings moving, but you do not hear anything. You're all keeping an eye out. Ava, you're particularly focused for any more of these drops of mana. Everybody else is just kind of, I think Shade's particularly looking for eyes to pop out on the wall so that she can stab them. Other people are probably generally just keeping a lookout. Jogu perhaps most interested in the sense of finding where this sense of being watched is coming from. You're sort of squelching your way along.
Can the cat go first to check for traps and stuff?
I would say that Watcher is going first, and then immediately after that would be Onyx.
Yeah.
Go ahead and give me Chelsea an investigation roll
Okay.
to see, like, and we'll keep that 21. Very good. For you keeping an eye out for traps of any kind. You all are going along. Watcher isn't seeing anything other than a hallway. Until suddenly your perceptual feed kind of fritzes for a second. And everyone else who is keeping an eye out for something specific, you see it in the area where you're most looking for that. This sort of long relatively featureless hallway, Duracrete, big network connection cables on the walls, every, say 50 paces, an emergency light. It's brick. Ahead of you, behind you, brick. Deep red, stained almost to black. There are what appear to be gas lights on the walls, emitting an orange flickering light. As the flames sort of flicker and pulse a little bit. Nothing else has changed except for everything around you. There's no network connection cables. There are no emergency lights, just gas lamps, again, regularly placed. Brick floor, brick walls, vaulted roof.
Can we still, move and talk? Or is this, an instant
It was
thing?
instant. It was just as sort of
But
you were
it's not going away. It's, still
as
there.
you were stepping, it's just...
If I walk backwards, is it still there?
Yes.
Everyone else is seeing this, right?
Yeah, what the fuck is going on?
Oh, we appear to have entered some kind of museum.
No, because I just tried
museum.
walking backwards and it was still there, so we didn't enter. Like we've been here. Or something. It's like the voice in our heads, except worse.
Much worse. You hear the sound in your head.
Oh god, the voice is back!
Okay. How far away is Watcher? They shouldn't be too far away, right?
I was putting them at probably 100 feet in front of you, so that
Okay.
you could dash forward/back and sort of get back together.
Yeah, okay.
Same. There's, if you sort of flick between your senses and theirs, same thing. Brick. Gas lights.
There's brick ahead, too. So it's not just here. I take a sample of the brick. I, kind of chip it.
You reach out, and you go to sort of take a pick. The wall beneath your pick is rough-hewn stone.
Ooh.
Up by onyx flapping high, there are glowing crystals set into the wall, emitting a golden amber light that sort of has a slow but steady pulse to it. The entire tunnel around all of you is rough-hewn stone, crystals set in regularly.
But it changed again? Is that what just happened?
Yep. You went to scratch at brick, and instead there is stone.
But it's not the same as what it was before, so it's like a
Correct.
third
You're not in
thing.
Duracrete. It is stone.
Okay. And the
Can I
stone
take-
is solid, it's not an illusion.
Correct.
Can I take a crystal?
They're up a ways. You'd need to stretch up to probably full height.
Mm-hmm.
You put your hands on a network cable as you are standing in a Duracrete tunnel emergency lighting stretching out at regular intervals.
Is the brick that I chipped off, the stone I chipped off still stone? Or is it
As you sort of went
to
chip, there's a little flake of stone in your hand.
Oh, cool. So it really happened, look! Wow.
Do I think aberrations can do this?
No.
Y'all, I don't know what the fuck is going on. This is way outside my realm of expertise. I think we're still gonna fucking die. Maybe we are dead. Maybe this is what dead is.
Maybe. What's the point in turning back when back is the same as forward? So may as well keep going forward, right?
Well, how about we stop touching things?
But how will we know anything if we don't touch it?
But
with our eyes,
by looking at it, yeah.
But we need to examine it.
Ava's going to reach down, and out of the side of her leather pants, she's going to draw a katana out of what seems like the side seam of her leather pants, and reach up and whack one of these data cables with her katana.
Okay. You it sinks into sort of that there's thick insulation around it, but nothing else seems to change.
So she didn't chop straight through.
She did not go through the entire cable.
Okay.
There's relatively thick, foam insulation.
Okay. Did you do that for a reason?
I'm not sure what all these cables, whether they are. They took the place of the crystals. Did you see the crystals?
Uh-huh.
And there is liquid mana on the floor, and there is cables, and then there is stone, and then there is crystals. What is this place, and where are the fish?
That's a good fucking question.
Well, we're not gonna find out just standing here hacking at the walls. Let's go.
You said investigate the walls. I investigated that cable.
Okay.
You recommence
we carry on?
/ flying.
Okay, Kat, I'm trusting you to tell us if anything is coming or changing again. You gotta communicate better, Kat. Tell us when the change is happening.
Ow.
It's not. Fuck. Why am I talking to a fucking cat? I'm fucking insane.
Because the cat wants to talk to you.
Did you all fucking hear that?
Hear what?
And we're back to hearing things again.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic.
As you make your way down the hallway, having this discussion, Duracrete becomes rock. You pause and look around, you continue moving. After a bit, rock becomes brick. Continue moving. Onyx, you're keeping a close eye out, but for some of it, you're even flying, just basically looking at the wall. You're not quite looking ahead of you. You're risking colliding with something. No matter what you do, you can't identify the moment it changes. It's stone, then it's something else. It's brick, then it's something else. There's no melt, there's no fade, there's no flicker. It's just one then the other.
Is it, so I feel like while I'm flying along, like every once in a while, my wing will kind of touch the ground. Does it all feel the same? Like if I touch against a wall with my wing?
It feels like the thing it looks like. Okay. So, like when it's brick, if your wing brushes it, you can feel brick and then mortar. If it's stone, you can feel the sort of uneven stone surfaces. If it's Duracrete, it's that sort of semi-porous but just very regular, smooth surface of Duracrete. As you all are making your way down, you again, with the exception of the tunnel changing, you're not really seeing any changes. And then as you're walking, the changes are coming faster. You lift your foot from rock and place it on brick, and as soon as you notice that it is brick, you are staring at a network cable on a Duracrete wall. And this is beginning to happen so quickly that you come essentially to a stop, almost disoriented by this brick, stone, Duracrete, brick, Duracrete, stone, brick, stone, Duracrete, brick, stone, Duracrete. And as you're trying to process this level of visual chaos, you hear a noise. And you all get the sense, actually, Onyx, you get the sense, particularly, that this noise had started at a register you couldn't hear and has descended into a range that you can hear. So it's starting as a very high-pitched whine that keeps deepening, and you think that it was originally above the range you could hear. You've got the visual chaos of things are now flickering intensely rapidly. The noise is becoming deafening. And then through that noise, as it drops lower and lower and lower to the point where you almost feel the sound more than hear it, if that makes sense. Imagine a shattering noise, but at that register, that deep. Instead of glass, it's almost rock shattering, vibrating through. And as you all sort of wince away, stillness. But the stillness may be worse than the movement. The walls are a patchwork now. Stone, brick, Duracrete, each occupying segments with no rhyme or reason. And in front of you, a wall with a door inset. A door that appears to be wood, perhaps, decorated with metal and fine carvings and detail.
Y'all, I don't like this. I don't think this is where fish live. I think we should just leave.
So far, we have seen stone and brick and Duracrete. None of those are homes for fish. In my experience, the only fish we have seen down here are in her jacket. But I'm going to go and have a look at this. Yeah, I'm going to go and have a look at the door, the wall.
It's essentially a wall that terminates in the door, which is massive. It's at least 15 feet tall. As you look at it, give me an investigation check. Onyx, also give me an investigation check because you're quite close to it.
I also I'm gonna rush straight up to the door.
23 for Ava, 16 for Onyx. And a fumble from Newt.
That's like my third fumble. That's unreal.
Newt, you are so excited that you've just like slammed into one portion of it, and you're just like looking at it, and you can't seem to sort of pull your eyes away.
I lick it.
You lick it. The portion that you are focused on, and that the other two of you, Onyx and Ava, will also see, and also see Newt just being like,
what is it made of?
You see an image of what appears to be a ball of eyes, sitting in a pool, with behind, in the background of it almost, or like away from it, you can see an opened door, and gathered around the pool are several figures that look very familiar. A tall half-elf, a short kobold, an aquaborn, a tressum. I've forgotten Ava's race. Half-elf? And another half-elf with very high heels on. And you are just looking at that, wondering what that means. Ava, 23. You notice other images and decorations on this. You notice an image of a dragon facing another identical dragon. But the sort of second dragon is depicted with almost a wavering line. Instead of like smooth, straight lines, the lines shimmer and waver. It gives you a sense of it either being not fully tangible, or it disappearing, or it's in the process of appearing. You suspect it's in some way less than tangible. But its features are clearly the same as the other dragons. You also see an image of a door and a hand that are sort of equally sized. And there's a decoration of a fissure between them. Like, it isn't the door is damaged. It was designed to look like there is a split between them. Onyx, you notice one particular scene with your 16, which perhaps makes sense as you look at it. You see an image of a Tressum fighting a dragon. And in a panel next to it, you see an image of that same Tressum essentially pointing to many hands. And as you look on at this, the doors sort of slowly open. Beyond, you find a large chamber, about 100 feet long by 50 feet wide. Room is the same kind of patchwork as the hall that you now found. Stone, brick, duracrete. And as you look at the room, even just sort of through the first opening of the doors, all five of you are looking in, you can see the patchwork shifts. So there's now a desk next to a brick wall where there was duracrete before. Bookcases on the brick disappear and become just stone. Rough stone lined with these amber crystals becomes duracrete holding network cables. On the far side of the chamber, you can see a door, which glows faintly. It seems to be made of glass or crystal, quite unlike any of the materials of the wall or of the other door that you just came through. And perhaps more noticeable even than the walls changing or this door is the faintly glowing, spectrally transparent figure in the middle of the room in front of you. I need everyone to make a wisdom saving.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah.
Oh no. Okay.
Sorry, someone remind me how to do that.
There is a little box called saving throws.
On the left side of your character sheet, like right next to all the big numbers, there'll
Right
be a
under
box
proficiency bonus.
that says saving throws and has the word wisdom in it, and you click that.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I've got a 15 from Jogu, an 8 from Newt, a 14 from M, a 19 from Shade, and an 11 from Onyx.
You said I wasn't wise.
Onyx and Newt. The rest of you can feel a wave of sort of panic and terror in you, and you sort of force yourself down to stillness. Onyx and Newt, you both just sort of paralyze in the face of this. You're just frozen looking at this thing. For those of you who have managed to hold on to yourselves, this figure does not appear hostile It does not appear to have noticed you are there. It does appear extremely agitated.
What is the figure? Is it a beholder fish?
No, it appears to be a humanoid ghost. It's from where you are, which is about 50 feet away from it. It's in the center of this long chamber. It doesn't really have discernible features. It's humanoid.
But it's humanoid. Okay.
I'm not good at dealing with people who are having freakouts. I just kind of like fucking kill them. No, I mean, I don't kill people. Who would do that? Anyway, I'm not good at talking to them. Are one of you good at, like, it looks scared, and also I don't want to go near.
Ava sighs and sort of approaches cautiously a little way and goes, "Can you hear us? Are you okay? Your home here is very disconcerting. Are you unwell? Have you seen a beholder fish?"
As you come up and you ask those questions, Newt and Onyx, go ahead and give me another wisdom saving throw.
It's not gonna be good.
With advantage on this, because you've seen your friends.
Oh, with advantage is a 12, my friend.
Onyx, Onyx, you managed to shake off the effect of this. Newt, you are very close, but you are still just a little stuck, as you almost think you have it under control, and then you just hear a that is extending into ranges of sound you're pretty sure shouldn't exist, as this figure sobs. Ava, as you've moved closer to it, the others, you can feel free to move closer if you want to or not. Anyone who moves closer will hear from where this figure's staying still outside of just, they're moving from side to side, but they're not like pacing around the room, if that makes sense. There's almost thrashing / curling up a little bit. My watch is not ended. My watch is not ended. Ever alone. I stand this vigil, ever alert. I keep the night. Why? Where am I? Where is home? What has happened? Just want to be home. Please, I've held on. I've not lost my mind. Please, I want to be home. The ghost has not seemed to respond to you, Ava, to your question of can you hear us, etc. As you're moving closer, the room flickers again. Pieces changing place. Not changing place, but surfaces and objects changing. Chelsea, it looked like you were going to say something?
No.
I'm not going near it, so somebody else has to take this.
I'm like paralyzed. I can't do anything.
Jogu is inching forward, but not as far as Ava.
I'm going to walk up to this ghostly figure and go, "Where is your home? I'm not sure we'll be able to find ours either after today. Where is your home?"
You see, I think of the word to use here. Consciousness of your presence. I was going to use recognition of your presence, but I don't mean, it doesn't seem to recognize you. It knows you're there. It may even understand that you're speaking to it. It may even hear you, but all that you get is kind of a, oh, you're there, and please, I haven't lost my mind. Please, I've held on all this time. Please, I just want to go home. The room flickers. Parts change.
I'm going to reach out and touch it.
You feel it's not, it's incorporeal. You can though feel sort of a cool resistance. Well, again, like if you're putting it, that sense of putting your hand into fog, but much denser, and a slight charge to it, a slight tingle. Room shifts. Please, it's been so long. Please, I haven't. And the room shifts, and Ava, you and the ghost are now standing on brick. And you'll see it sort of stuff. You, please, can you help? It's been so long. I don't know where I am. Something has gone wrong. I was keeping watch, and then suddenly there was strange sounds and things. The ghost feels much more conscious and cogent.
Where did you start? If you do not know where you are now, where did you start?
I kept the watch. I kept the watch at the Lake of the Moon. I kept and at this the room will shift again and you're on Duracrete. No, please help. No, I've held on. You do see a patch of brick near you.
I'm going to try and hold as where the hand would be and touch the brick.
Yeah, you sort of have to stretch far away. You're able to, hey, focus. I'm back. There we go. And she will, they will, yes, the Lake of the Moon, I kept the watch. Please, I have, the strangeness is making me forget who I am, but I've not lost my mind. I've held on. I have a journal. If you can bring me that, please, I think then I could hold on.
So Ava shouts that out. She is, I think, from the era of the brick. There is a journal. They need a journal. Maybe in the desk?
At the moment, actually, the desk is against one wall, with brick showing behind it.
I'll rifle through the desk looking for a journal and also looking for anything valuable to pocket.
I get unfrozen now.
Oh, right. Sorry, I forgot that you had. Yes,
I failed.
I will say with this, you are fine. You have now seen enough interaction.
Okay, cool.
Sorry, that is my bad.
No, it's fine.
You you do find a journal. You find what appears to be a small bag of coin, which is odd to you. You're not used to coin.
Does it look like I could sell it on the black market?
Yeah, probably.
I'm gonna pocket it and toss Ava the journal.
Onyx will sort of catch it in midair, ferry it over. Yeah, you do that. Newt, was there anything you wanted to do since you were being very good about being paralyzed?
Um, I'll. Newt's just like super interested. So, do we know that ghosts exist? Is this like a normal thing, or is this something that most people haven't seen?
They're not common, not at all. This ghost doesn't look quite like the descriptions that you've heard. Usually, you can see an exact figure. This is this is humanoid, but you could not tell what lineage this ghost was from. You can't really tell the sort of body form that they have, let alone a gender expression. Their voice is very it's not that it's high, it's very thin. It sounds just sort of like wind almost. So that's a little different from what you're used to, and you sense no hostility from this creature.
Cool. In that case, Watcher will like circle around them and kind of like film every inch of them, and I'll also be circling around and just looking at everything, trying to like figure stuff out and talking to Watcher at the same time, like we're recording.
Ava, you hand them the journal? You hand them the journal, and you see you're holding their hand essentially still and like tapping this brick portion, which has now moved again, and you've sort of quickly moved so that now your foot is touching it and your hand is touching them. And as you hand them the journal, or as Onyx hands them the journal, you feel the hand that you're holding become not more solid, but more solid, yes. Denser. The mist is more substantial in your hand. The lines are a bit more defined, though again, gender expression, lineage, none of this is evident from this shape. But you'll see. Yes, I can remember now the darkness. Lightning keeping them back, I can remember. I can remember my job, my duty. You seem kind. Perhaps it will be all right for you to proceed. Good, even. Please, I need a mirror.
I for sure have a mirror on me at all times.
I've got a mirror.
Okay.
I've got a mirror. It's in my. I have a disguise kit, a sort of makeup, stage makeup, sort of set that I carry. So I give her a little, like a compact mirror.
And they'll sort of come. All of you, come.
I turn around and go, this nice person is going to take us to the beholder fish.
Okay.
And they're gonna kind of line you up. As Onyx sort of sails over, they'll look at me. May I pet you?
Of course. That's me and Brain.
As you speak into their head, you're gonna see them sort of. It feels like you're moving through mist more than anything else, and they're gonna sort of group you together. They put Jogu and Onyx in, not quite in front, but sort of in gaps and more to the front, and the others, and then very carefully position the mirror so that it's pointing and encompasses all of you. And the wall behind you. And then you're going to see them circle around, having positioned the mirror, and behind you, and move to behind you. And each of you in turn will feel a hand on your back, and hear, "Thank you. Go in safety and help others safety." And they'll repeat that behind each of you.
Safety? What do you mean safety? What's
And
Newt's very excited, but also like kind of get freaked out now.
And as they fade, you'll hear, "Thank you. My name is Avanori. Thank you." And as you look in the mirror, the doors in the wall behind you are open. And as you turn the walls, the doors are now open. You have heard no sound of doors opening. You weren't even precisely sure how the doors could open. But yeah, the doors are now open.
Is this the door that we came through, or is this a
No,
different
this was
door?
the other side. This is the
Okay,
doors
cool.
that were made of, look like crystal.
Okay, cool. All right, let's go.
I just
Sorry, go.
I just don't know if this is like a good idea.
Right, I totally understand, but at the same time, how the fuck else are we gonna get out of here?
None of this is a good idea. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
Joker starts forward with.
Yeah, me too.
Ava sort of sighs and walks through the door. You know, Newt, you were frozen solid by a ghost.
Uh-huh.
Have you really, really thought about this whole beholder fish thing?
Look, it was super scary, I admit it. Really super scary. But then I saw this, they didn't mean any sort of harm. They were totally harmless, so it wasn't scary anymore, so it's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, just
I mean,
because
if you're
something
going to
doesn't.
freeze and wait for us to prove it's safe, maybe we should get some of your share.
Yeah, that sounds fair.
Oh, I don't care about the money. I'm here for
so-
the fish.
Oh, okay.
We can have like your whole share.
Oh
Yeah.
no, I didn't say that. I mean, if Zigzag thinks the what are they called, union, are a good idea, I'll probably just give it to that. I don't really care.
I don't
Like-
think that's a good idea. I think you.
I mean,
no.
I'll keep it up to keep me going, but like, I don't need money. Who needs money? Anyway, doesn't matter. Let's go.
Joker kind of says to himself, I need money. All right, let's go.
Chelsea, it looked like you were going to say something.
Shade will reluctantly follow.
As you pass through the doors, the air becomes very cold. Looking around, you realize that the ceiling above you is in fact water. Suspended by you are not sure what. The room is filled with a vaguely green light, and as you move forward, you see something ahead of you. Much taller than Jogu, fully as tall as as like chest high. Much taller than Jogu or Onyx, fully chest high, and the rest of you. And as Onyx, you sort of swoop forward and down to check to see if it's dangerous. You see that it's a massive skull of a dragon, pitted and corroded, entirely melted away in some places. And as you kind of hover over it and, flap around to the other side to get a look, if it was to your left, to your right, to the right of the path you've been taking, so out past it as you're now on the other side of it, you can see shattered bones of what would have had to have been a giant. And the dragon's skull is facing deeper into the room, cavern, whatever this is. And as you continue, the sound of dripping becomes more and more prominent. And eventually you see it, a drip from the ceiling above, falling to what is now a small pool below. As each drop falls, you see glittering, scintillating light coming from the drops. And realize from what Ava said before, this is not water, it is mana, concentrated to the point of having physical form. And as you get closer, you see movement in the pool. 2 figures rise out of the water. One small, one tiny. They are each balls of eyes. They gaze at you, and when they blink, you realize that the mana above you shifts like a ripple.
Oh, it's so beautiful. Are they fish or are they just beholders?
They are, from the pictures, beholder fish. Orbs
Oh,
made
cool.
of eyes.
Oh, and it's so excited.
There's like,
I like
actually
shake Joju. Jogu. What? How am I supposed to say it? Jogu?
However you want to say it. I'm not going to correct anyone anymore.
Okay, goo. I shake goo. Charlotte.
there's actually fucking like beholders here.
Did you have any doubt?
I mean, I didn't think they'd be actual fucking fish. What the fuck is?
So that's what you meant by fishes. Oh.
Yeah, you know what air quotes are, girl?
I do know it. Anyway, who has the container? Just in case. But also, why are there two of them?
Well, there'd have to be more than one, right? How else would they make more?
Sure, that makes sense.
I mean, they could do it through like budding,
Budding.
like one growing off and then splitting off. You know?
Is that actually how beholders breed?
Yeah, definitely. Why not?
Why the fuck not? Sure.
I don't want to look up the D&D lore for this.
Beholders breed by dreaming of another beholder. Because
So
anything a
kind of.
beholder dreams becomes real, essentially.
That's terrifying.
As you all sit there, Onyx, you are able to sense it first because you're used to doing this to people. You feel telepathic connection being formed. And for you, perhaps because the thing reaching out to you also recognizes that you have ability, you feel essentially a request for permission to speak to you telepathically.
I hear you, and I give you permission to say what you need to say.
You'll see one of the larger fish sort of bob slightly as you do that, and you will hear in your voice. All of you will hear in your heads. Please, you who have come and found this place, who have been given access by a gatekeeper far from home, yet still performing their duty, we beseech you for aid. This world nearly broke. Despite the best efforts of many, is breaking still. Please, if you do not repair the flow of time here, I fear the tragedy will repeat itself.
Everyone else heard that, right? That wasn't just me?
No, like I definitely heard that, but also like, okay, so fish. I hear here the world's breaking, and that's like bad, I guess. I don't fucking know, but like, what's in it for us, right? Like,
We live here.
I don't live right here.
No, not right here, but in this world.
I'm not sure I live in this world. I certainly don't live in this place, and we're getting paid for a beholder fish.
Yeah, we're not getting paid to fix the world. We're getting paid to capture, to cuddle a beholder fish.
We need help. What do you need us to do?
As you sort of reach out and this all continues, you feel your minds turn to the earthquake that destroyed parts of the city a few weeks ago. And you remember, but there was no earthquake. Buildings being destroyed, explosion, but no earthquake. We can let you find it. We can send you back in your memory. Let you see. Newt, what were you doing when the earthquake? Or did you weather the earthquake that struck Moon City?
Probably in her teeny tiny studio apartment full of aquariums and plants, just streaming on the computer.
As you were streaming, you remember, you remember saying, this is getting bad, and sort of trying to prop up, your aquariums as they threaten to jitter off the shelf. And now you remember that wasn't what you were streaming? You were streaming giant mechs attacking the city? Explosions, trying to record them, trying to show what was happening, glowing red orbs on them. It had to be important, but you recall going outside, even up to the roof of the apartment building, seeing tons of these things across the city. Ava, where were you when the earthquake struck?
Ava was on air selling a particularly nice piece of Foro Solutions, sort of cheap tech for a ridiculous amount of money. So going through the process of selling stuff on air.
And you recall then the violent shaking, the sort of huddling, beneath a desk, trying to avoid, one of the lights falling on you or something. And then the memory opens, and you recall doing the sales pitch, which you haven't rehearsed, but you've done it for 1,000 other products just as shitty, just as expensive every time. And you recall the shouts and seeing the large but not enormous figures of mechs in armor, glowing red dots, each emblazoned with a logo that you are very familiar with, that you are in fact flogging merchandise of, marching their way in and hiding as you attempt not to be noticed by them because you saw what happened to the cameramen, and you don't want that to happen to you. Jade, where were you when the earthquake hit?
Definitely having a motorcycle gang fight. So like we're ramming our motorcycles into each other a lot and just trying to fucking destroy each other on in the slums of Moontree City. Yeah.
I enjoy that your idea of a motorcycle fight is literally battering ramming motorcycles.
Yep.
You recall the earthquake hitting, many people sort of toppling off of their bikes as the road begins to buckle. Your combat forgotten as parts of buildings were coming down and sort of all working together to get the hell out of there. And the memory shifts and fades, and you recall watching and cheering one of your fellow gang members on in their combat. And then having them be rather fully squashed by a several stories tall mech. And that, along with their competitor, both being crushed as it appeared seemingly from nowhere. And you rallying the members of your own gang and the other gang to attack this thing that had interrupted your combat. It was a hard fight. You lost lots of people, but you did eventually manage to bring it down. Onyx, what was our cat burglar doing when the earthquake struck?
Onyx was just coming off of a reconnaissance mission and tailing a member of Drakon as they went to visit near the moon tree and took a stop to take a gander because this is a pretty view. So looking out at the moon tree.
From your perch, sort of, you remember looking at the moon tree, you remember seeing a square of onlookers, tourists that are always there at all times of day and night, suddenly scatter and panic as the earthquake strikes, and knowing that you're not going to have any real problems as you just sort of float up so that you're not in contact with the ground, and keeping a close eye to make sure that there's no debris that could fall on you. And the memory twists and shifts and ripples, and now you recall the combat breaking out at the edges of the square, the giants swinging in, the giant mechs attacking, blades cleaving through buildings, and you recall not being overly concerned as you take to the wing and use all of your considerable powers of stealth to avoid notice. But you do see much of the city you call home being destroyed. And Joku, where were you?
Jogu was at work. So he was, I was gonna say knee deep, that's a bad phrase. He was in the middle of working on a mech arm. Something was going wrong with it mechanically. He's trying to repair it with small tools.
And you recall working on it, you recall going to get one of your wrenches and seeing it sort of vibrate off the table and fall, and that being when you realize that the ground as a whole was not shaking from machinery or anything else, but that the ground was itself buckling and quickly scampering away and trying to find cover. And you recall something falling from the ceiling on one of your fellow workers, not really being able to get back to him, but just needing to run, separated by debris. The memory shifts. You were and your coworker working on the arm, and suddenly you saw a shimmer of light. And where there was an arm, there was now a completed mech that grabbed your coworker and did not seem to be a standard laborer bot such as the one you were working on, hurling them across the room and you deciding that getting away very quickly would be a good idea. You sort of shake your heads, these two versions of the past in your minds. And you hear the voice in your head again from the larger of the two beholder fish. As you stand, you each see two versions of events, two pasts that explain where you are now. We must ask you to choose. Choose which is the past that this city experienced. One past, one timeline, and we do not risk a rupture. What is that past?
So, wait, we have to choose between a little bit of the ground shaking and nothing really bad happening and full-on mech invasion?
The earthquake was a major one. It collapsed massive parts of the city. There were tons of casualties.
Right, but giant robots weren't trying to kill us.
Absolutely correct.
Then
I don't think, are we qualified to make this decision?
also, how?
I'm not qualified.
More than we are.
It's not really much of a decision, though, is it?
I mean, I don't know what the ramifications are of either of these things. Maybe one of them opens the door to another fucking dimension with...
That sounds amazing! Which one did that?
No, god damn it, Newt. Fuck. It's bad. Okay, Fish, tell us which one's better, and we'll pick that one.
This is not a determination that we can make.
Okay, how about which one had less people dying?
The realities of life and death are the same, regardless of the reason. In one, there was a natural accident. The world, lives were snatched away. In the other, there are threats beyond what you think in your everyday. And those threats, if not prepared for, can have consequences.
I would reckon that where there are threats, there are also opportunities. Threats can be defended against, particularly threats that are ongoing, and people need equipment and resources to do that. A gap in the market, so to speak. And the cameraman, well, he was handsy, so I don't particularly mourn his loss to a giant robot. I'd seek the opportunity that comes with an ongoing tech invasion.
But doesn't that one seem a lot worse? Just like from a people perspective?
People can defend against tech if they have the wherewithal to spot the gap in the market.
Yeah, but there won't be a market or economy if there's no society. That has been destroyed by mech.
There will still be a society.
I mean, I'm definitely very firmly on the side of no mech invasion, because that seems much worse than just one little earthquake that did kill a lot of people, but it was a one-time event.
Right, is it like a one-time event? Is this like if we check the one with no threats, then the threats aren't coming back. Everybody will be safe forever.
That is a path of the future that we are unable to see.
Are you trying?
Just try harder.
Blink. The mono roof sort of shimmers. Blink. Shimmers. Yes, we're trying. That is not what is given to us, though.
Surely it is better to face an enemy you can see than an enemy you can't.
Well, surely it's better not to face any enemy at all.
I'm not sure that is an option.
Well, for everyday people, it is. If we have the mech invasion, then lots and lots of everyday normal citizens are going to die. Whereas if we do it the other way, then only, people who get mixed up in that sort of shit on purpose are going to die. So
Present will not be changed by this decision, and we do not know what the impacts of the future will be. It is merely, think of it as choosing which explanation becomes real. Whether an earthquake devastated the city, killing many, or strange forces began to act, destroying the city and killing many people. Again, present is the same either way.
wait, we're not choosing anything then?
But everything from that point on will be based on this decision.
Wait. So, are we choosing what actually happened or just how people remember it?
Perhaps some point between the two?
Which does it lean closer to? Like a scale of 1 to 10, where 5 is right in the middle, but 5 is not an option. Which is it closer to?
Like 1 to 9. There's no 5. There's just like...
I mean, there is a 5, but it's not in the middle then.
Yeah, exactly. It's not in the middle, yeah.
Yeah. And 9 is it leans closer to it actually happened, and one, as it leans closer to it, didn't happen at all.
Is your voice like hurting you at all, Lena?
Yeah, it's Kelly B.
We're going to solicit opinions from the kobold and the Tressum.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah, I work with mechs for a living, and I'm even struggling to make this decision. It's reminding me of that one movie I used to watch. I can't remember the title, but there's like a red pill and a blue pill, and if you take one, you become aware of what's actually happening. But I mean, which is more likely? I know it's up to us, but how does it affect the future?
My problem is, like, did it actually happen?
Yeah, I'm very confused about what we're actually choosing, because if I want to choose the thing that actually happened, like, which one actually happened?
Before we answer that, Tressum?
Oh god. Oh. Moontree City has done great kindness, and I feel like it deserves a chance. But either way, it's destruction. So I would take upon the path of the least casualty. Though destruction wouldn't be great either.
To answer your question, both have happened. Imagine different versions of events. Both occurred in one an earthquake, in another a break in schism in time, and both the number of dead, the destruction to the city must be the same either way. That is an immutable point here. The Hansi cameraman would be dead either way. But what caused their death is mutable. It should not be, but it is. In order to prevent more things like this happening, one must be chosen. You must choose a track, and only one track. We do not know what occurs beyond this point. Merely this point, and in this instance we have the ability to determine how you have gotten here.
I think we should pick the mechs, because I want to fuck with the corpse.
I think we should pick the earthquake because I don't want mechs destroying the city.
Well, it just happened the once, though. Maybe, I don't know. I'm really confused.
They could come back is the thing, or is like earthquakes are a natural thing, may not happen again. It's like
I have a question for Galway.
Mm-hmm.
With what we knew, or with what we saw in that other reality where the mechs were happening, were we clueless as to why the mechs, or for who was responsible for the mechs? Or was it just...
I would say that certainly several of you were close enough or were experienced enough to recognize 4.0 tech. Quite honestly, probably actually all of you would have seen the 4.0 logo, because those of you who are less experienced with it had a view of lots of them, and those who were either more experienced with 4.0 tech or were closer to them or beat one of them to death would have had the opportunity to then see the logo on it.
Okay.
You would also know it's a slightly different logo than what you're used to. You're used to just the 4 swirls of color. This had a red set of balance scales on. But
Okay. I really can't see any plus side to the whole mech invasion thing.
I mean, fucking we're Pharaoh,
Yeah.
and opportunity in mech, and I don't know, like, I don't.
Those things don't benefit a lot of people. Only
Okay,
very,
but,
very
like,
few people.
the fucking corpse don't either. They keep us under their little big corpsey thumbs, and they do what they want with the little
wouldn't this
people.
Give the corpse more power if we gave them giant killer robots?
No, because this will make the people turn against the corpse, right? They'll be like, oh, your fucking robot smashed up our city and we hate it. We didn't ask for this remodel. And so they'll go and yell at the corpse and be like, you're bad and we hate you. It will increase the unionizing and it will bring down the corpse, or at least Pharaoh.
Or it will just make everyone even more scared of them and make Pharaoh even more powerful.
Like, you can't have a revolution without breaking some eggs. And people aren't going to revolutionize. People aren't going to revolutionize unless they have some reason to fight. This gives them a reason to fight besides that just benignly sucks all the time because of the corpse.
I agree with Shade. You can fight against something you can see. You cannot fight against a natural disaster behind which the corpse can hide. Pharaoh has overstepped, and Moontree would know that if their killer tech had destroyed half of the city. And that gives opportunity for the smaller folk to maybe do some good in the world, to unionize, which appears to be the thing these days.
I understand that,
would
but
go against the tech.
This was a different Pharaoh. The symbol is different, so we don't know that Pharaoh in our world is doing anything like that.
Maybe
we could just
like
be
a different branch.
It's the same world. We're in both worlds. It's the same world. We're in both worlds. I'd rather live onwards in a world where I can see what I'm fighting.
What do you think?
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm agreeing with Ava and Shade.
Oh. We know that the Tressum's name is Onyx somehow.
you have heard at some point, Onyx.
Okay. Onyx?
And Newt will hear, I support you. I would rather live in a world with an earthquake instead of mechs that could destroy everything.
I think we're still outnumbered, though.
I could fight them if you'd like.
Yes.
See if that would help.
I mean, maybe not Shade, because she probably tastes really bad.
Yeah.
And I think Ava's mostly metal.
I could find the fleshy parts, don't worry.
Maybe another time.
Well, just remember that. The offers.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I guess we're going with giant mechs.
It does appear to be that.
Ava says to the beholder fish, the guard in time who let us in, which time were they from?
The ruptures that produced this near turn had much longer reach. If you think of it as 2 roads leading to a similar point, and that is what you have been asked to choose between, different parts of the road began appearing at different points as well. That is where they are from. We do not know which course more relate.
I have no idea what that means.
They were not from a question of which past, but where in the past. If you all do not agree, we can hold this place a while longer. Perhaps others will find it. Guide us, choice.
I mean, that seems like a cop-out. We should be decisive.
I hang out on the cryptid forum and with many of the people in this chamber, and I've not found many others on those fora that would be able to make a decision in this situation. I hold out little hope that there are better decision makers than us. We are Zigzag's best options for getting here in the first place, whatever that says.
Yeah.
What is zigzag?
Oh, that is a good question. And
He's this super smart, super cool guy who runs this blog, right? All about she just starts gushing about Zigzag.
You're gonna feel, as you begin gushing about zigzag, you're going to feel a little bit more sort of mental contact. Smart, say. Knowledgeable.
Very.
It is one. Then perhaps we can arrange this. Thank you for your guidance. And at this, there will be a flash of light. You stand in a large stone cavern. Before you, a tiny ball of eyes is safely ensconced in the water of the tank, the lid whirring closed. You blink, wondering what you were just thinking, just doing. Clearly you need to be careful with this thing's mental powers. But you have accomplished your goal. You make your way back through the long corridors of Duracrete, scale the ladder up, slide back into the tunnels. You check before exiting, trying to ensure that there are no drones around. But despite the fact that you can't see any, you cannot shake the feeling of being watched. And I think that will wrap up your adventure.
We're gonna get paid.
You do in fact manage to bring back a tiny beholder fish, fully alive. Ava, your plans to be able to research it to integrate into augmentation will prove to be actually potentially particularly useful with ocular augmentation and mental augmentations.
They're not harmed, right? The beholder fish. There's no harming it.
It was fine.
Okay,
It was just in the tank and.
Yeah, but like it's studying it doesn't harm it.
You've got one of them, so any harm you do is going to be kind of permanent. So probably going to be careful with that.
Good.
Onyx, you do discover from the funds, from this sort of adventure, you discover that it could be quite profitable despite the fact that your usual MO involves the sky. I like that I didn't release push to talk for me coughing. Great. Really making use of the technology here. You've discovered the network of tunnels beneath Moontree City, which give you another option of passing from place to place. Shade, you are paid handsomely for your work, though you're a little confused. you're used to having the great story of the monster hunt and, you know, the great tales of the combat and blah, 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 and knowing in your heart of hearts that it wasn't real. You know how you faked it. You spray painted that poor animal. This time, though, you actually got the thing, but you have the lingering doubt as to how you actually did it. And that's a weird reversal of the norm.
It's okay. I'll just line my way through it.
Newt, you are overjoyed. You begin extensively working with this. You also, much like Onyx, are delighted to have discovered tunnels with water underneath them. Underneath the city, you do occasionally sort of explore them with Onyx, albeit with very different goals. Onyx keeps trying to get to the wealthiest districts in town. You keep trying to go to the most interesting tunnels.
Yep.
Jogu, you are now, with the discovery and capture of Beholderfish Zigzag, has become important enough and with enough sort of general appeal that he is in fact able to pay you for your work in the forums and offers you a position as sort of an ongoing editor, talent scout, writer, that more than covers your ability to stop working on engineering, or at least choosing what engineering jobs you're working. So you all had a very successful outcome to your mission. I will say, everybody, thank you so much for playing. Didn't go too much over time despite starting quite late. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. I had a lot of fun. Hopefully everybody else did. Thank you. It should also be noted, this adventure concept was Monty's originally.
Not really. All I said was, gee, wouldn't it be funny if we hunted the beholder fish, essentially.
I hope you enjoyed this return to Moontree City. If you'd like to see the introduction of this place and some of the adventures that led to that earthquake/mech attack, check out the Moontree Isle campaign, which details sort of all of the events leading up to this. And as always, check us out on YouTube. We have everything up there in the World of Tier playlist. Check out our other games, and you can check out our podcasts. Wherever you get those, look for either Goats and Dragons or Helpful Goat Presents, or now, Dom and Dragons, our podcast of our campaign with Dominic Monaghan. And so, from all of us here at Helpful Goat, thank you very much. Have a wonderful evening. Take care of yourselves and of each other. Bye.
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 But technically I did lie. There will be one more little thing as a surprise. Ooh. But players having said goodbye, I will take us to our ending scene, and everyone can follow along. So again, thank you so much. We'll see you next time, tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern, Monster of the Week. Somewhere in the darkness beneath Moontree City, in a pool that is no pool, a large, or a small rather, ball of eyes floats, each of the eyes drifting away, slowly, becoming part of the walls, revealing an orb of perhaps greenish metal. Floats to the side, one of the stone walls, and in a flash of light, there is now a carved away portion, forming a stele. And then slowly, upon the surface of that stone, in faintly glowing letters, 12 orbs, 8 pillars, 4 lights. The cracking of time brings new fights. And that is where we will end.